Hello, everybody. Hey, Don.
Hello.
Hey, Natalie. Michael, Robin, Emily. Good to see everybody. Hello. All right. So how did it go for everybody with session one? Was everybody able to get through the homework? Most people, yeah. Karen, you did. Dawn, seen some head nodding. Jen, Sari, Natalie as well. Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, if you thought the last one was action-packed, wait till you see today. Because what are we going to be doing today? We're actually going to start creating some headlines, aka hooks. All right. So we'll just kind of let everybody get settled in here. And I have a portion of today where I'm going to be presenting some new material. So I'm going to be talking about the next step. Once we did, everybody should have been working on your category of one headline worksheet, where you were walking away from that document with four main things. One mass desire that the majority of your customers have that is the biggest pain for them. Your customer's stage of awareness. So it's either unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, most aware. And then the other one is your market's level of sophistication, 1 through 5. Okay, and then the last item, so there's four so far. What did I say? It's going to be your one desire, stage of awareness, level of market sophistication. And the last one, which is going to be very important, is going to be your unique mechanism, your unique features, process, method on how you deliver on your customers' biggest desires better than anyone else can. So, how are you unlike anything before to solve your customer's desire? Okay, because this is all about differentiation and positioning you as the category of one, the best solution to solve your customer's desire. Alrighty, so that's my brief little recap. And now I'm going to pull up our presentation for the day. Just give me a sec here. Looks like it might have closed. Okay, where did we go? Here we are. Session 2 today. All right, so I'll share my screen. We'll hop into it. It's going to be fun. Okay, so we are on session 2 of the long form story ads bootcamp. Today, we're gonna do a little Q&A at the end. I know like the last time we did the training session and then we waited till the next day to do the Q&A. We're gonna be doing some live workshopping today, so buckle up for that. It'd be helpful as I'm going through some of these headline examples that if you started thinking about how you could do this for your own business, because we could work through it today. Okay, so we are here, day 2 of the Story Driven Ads Bootcamp. Okay, and as a reminder, what is the purpose of the long form story ad? We're using this to position your brand and your products as a category of one who can solve your customers' desires better than anyone else. Okay, so this is the main purpose of the long form ad. As a reminder, for those who maybe couldn't make it to the last session, of course, we're using Merchant Mastery's offer stacking formula, but I'm also integrating some concepts from one of the best, if not the best, marketing book ever written. It's called Breakthrough Advertising, written by Eugene Schwartz in 1966, considered by many to be the best copywriting book ever written. So we're going to be referencing some principles from that book again today, just like we were last time. And if everybody remembers, we kind of we broke down the 5 ingredients of the long form story ad. And last time we specifically focused on the first step, which is creating our category of one headline. And in the category of one headline, we want to position you as the best at solving your customer's desire. Okay, so if you want to see what the other 4 ingredients are, you can go back and watch the last session if you missed this one. But specifically, we were talking about creating that hook, the headline. And this is typically the longest part of the process because if we get this one wrong, the ad doesn't work. So this is the most important piece of the puzzle when it comes to your long form story ad. If we don't compel people with the opening headline, they're not going to read the rest of the ad. So it's just really the most important thing is getting this headline right. And if you remember last time, this was a funny part of the conversation, I thought anyway, was in the book, Eugene Schwartz talks about 3 levels of creativity when creating your headline. He doesn't call it a category one headline, he calls it a breakthrough ad. So it's an ad that's unlike anything that has come before it, and it's going to capture your attentions and win over the sales better than anything else could. And he's basically saying when you're creating your headline for your breakthrough ad, there's three levels of creativity. The three levels were borrowing. So this is when you would look at like, and if you remember from last time, I'm using the words headline and hook interchangeably. At Merchant Mastery, since the beginning of time, we've called it a hook. In the book, he calls it a headline. They're the same thing. Okay, they're the same thing. But when you're creating your hook or your headline, you could borrow it. So you could take an existing headline that has been going on in the market for a long time and just swap out the name of the product. So it's like, ooh, there's a good hook in my industry. I'm just going to swap out the name of the product with mine. That is a level one creativity, is just borrowing what's already done. If we look at level two creativity, this is when we're using generic formulas. So we're following tried, tested, and true formulas that are creating headlines tailored to your product. So this level of creativity, we're still relying heavily on templates, but there is a little bit more customization than borrowing. Borrowing, we're just swapping out the product. With generic formulas, we got to do some writing within a framework. Okay. And then the level of creativity that I want us to all get to is original creation. That's the level three of creativity. And this is what he says is the essential ingredient. If you want to create a breakthrough ad, if you want to create a category of one headline that's going to be a top performer, you got to say something that nobody else can say. You got to say something that hasn't been said, which is difficult. And I can't, if I had a nickel for every time somebody told me they're not a good copywriter in Merchant Mastery, I wouldn't even need Merchant Mastery. I'd retire. Okay. But the truth is, I've been reflecting on this one thing a lot. We can all improve. We can all get better at doing this. The only reason I'm pretty good at it is not because I'm a magician. It's because I've been practicing for a very long time. And I really do believe that we can all get significantly better at writing these hooks and headlines. And so I'm going to be really challenging everybody to do that. And I don't like I'm not going to let you get away with just saying, but I can't do it. But it's not in my wheelhouse, but I don't have that skill. We're going to build that muscle together. Okay. Because this is really, if you want ads performing wildly well, this is the key. We got to position you as a category of one that it's going to solve your customers' desires better than anyone else can. And sometimes it requires us to kind of push the envelope on what we're saying. And we really need to be original in how we say things. So with original creation, we're developing a completely original headline by deeply understanding your market audience and market. So your product audience and market. Little nuances, little shifts in the customers, things they say, stories you hear. Okay. So eventually we're going to get to level three. And if you remember this, I went back and asked our good friend ChatGPT. I said, hey, ChatGPT, in breakthrough advertising, Eugene lists three levels of creativity: borrowing, generic formulas, doing the hard work yourself. And I was like, because this book was written before ChatGPT, I'm wondering where you think ChatGPT fits for creating headlines. And ChatGPT was like, good insight. ChatGPT very useful. Like when it comes to level one and two, you could say, create me a hook, create me a template, create me, we've all done it. Go and create me some hooks, create me some headlines, and ChatGPT will do it. But just remember, that's not a breakthrough hook because ChatGPT is borrowing from everything else that's been said before. And so ChatGPT was saying if you want to use ChatGPT, you could also do it for a category three, like the level three of creativity, where you're being unique, where you're using ChatGPT as a brainstorming partner, challenging your assumptions. So there needs to be like this authentic part of the hook and headline that is about you and your experiences and your customers' nuances. Okay. And it really says at the end in this conclusion, I was covering this a lot on the last one, but at the end, that last sentence, the magic still lies in your ability to craft something distinctively you. This is very true. Very true. Okay. So today, I'm not going to put you guys through the ringer yet and force upon everybody the level three creative headlines. Today, we're going to be creating level two headlines. Okay. Where we're going to be using generic formulas with some customization. So this is how we're going to get the ball rolling. This is how we're going to put in the practice. This is how we're going to build the muscle. But in the next session, we're going to be creating the level three headlines. So there's a good chance. I feel like some really awesome exercises we're going to be going through to create these level two headlines. There's a good chance one of your level two headlines is actually like a level three. Like you could create one during this worksheet where you're like, that's the winner. That's very possible. But we are really going to focus in on the next session on how to make these distinctly you. Today, it's like understanding what we want to say in the headline. We're talking about unique mechanisms, desires, stages of awareness, market sophistication. So we're going to know all the ingredients that need to go into any headline, whatever level it's at. But we're going to be using a lot of formulas and frameworks today. And then next week is going to be fun because that's when we're going to start pulling those rabbits out of those hats and inventing the uniquely you level three headlines. Okay, so we're gonna be creating these level two headlines. Before we get started, like I said at the start of the call, there's four things you're going to need. And if you don't have these, whip them up. Whip them up for the purpose of the call because we're going to do some live workshopping today. And just as I said, so we put a lot of focus last time choosing the most prominent desire in your customer's mind that you help solve. And if you remember, we were talking about permanent forces. We talked about mass instincts. We talked about innovation problems. Then we talked about changing forces, trends, and mass education. And then I had you pick like five desires from that exercise. And whatever one had the most power across the three dimensions, we chose. So whatever one was the most urgent and intense for the customer, whichever one had staying power, and whichever one had a big scope, which meant a lot of people had that same desire. That's how we chose our one, whichever one scored the highest on those three vitals. Okay, so you picked your one desire. Hopefully, everybody has that. And then you needed to pick the next two are kind of a little bit easier. You need to pick your customer stage of awareness. And we were talking about are they're unaware that they have a problem? Do they know that they have a problem? Do they know that there's solutions, but they don't know about your solution? Are they aware of your product or are they the most aware? So you would choose your stage of awareness. And then we talked about level of market sophistication, how competitive your industry is. If it's level one, you're the first. There is no competitor. You're the first to the market. If it's level two, you're not the first to the market. You may be the second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever it is, but you just have a different, you can deliver on the solution better than the previous options. And then it starts getting to level three where it becomes saturated and the market becomes really saturated. And in that instance, then you need to use like proof and claims. But then you get to a level four where it's overcrowded and proofs and claims don't work anymore because everybody's heard it all. And that's when you need to introduce a unique mechanism. You have a method, unlike something anybody's done. You see this a lot in like the health and fitness space where it's like, some new ab exercise, some new weight loss program. Like everybody's inventing these new methods of how to get to that result. So that's really what a unique mechanism is. And then the other, so that's those are the first three that you need: your desire, what stage of awareness, what level of market sophistication, and the last one is your unique mechanism. Okay, and this is probably, I think, one of the most important ingredients in this equation because this is the one that is uniquely you that really highlights your differentiation. Okay, so those are the four things we need for today. And if everybody remembers, I was showing a new example with a local brand I've been helping out, Field Trip. Okay, and they have a series of products. Like there's a couple other ones that like were really famous, but we were specifically working on this body butter that was like made for Arctic conditions up here in Canada. We're okay, so this is one we were given an example of. So in my new worksheet, so that everybody will have access to this new worksheet. It's the second one in the boot camp. It's called the Crafting Level 2 Headlines Worksheet. All right, I'm going to be giving some examples of Field Trip and their super butter. That's the super body butter product. And so the first thing that you're going to be doing in the worksheet is just listing out those four things that you would have figured out last time from your category of one headline. Okay, so if we look at this example, and this is a good time to fill this out because you want this part done if you want to create the level two headlines. You need these four things. You absolutely need them. Okay, so if you look at mine for Field Trip, the customer's most urgent and impactful mass desire was deep, long-lasting hydration. That was the one we picked out of like our top five. What stage of awareness is the customer at? They're at solution aware. They know products exist, they just don't know about us yet. What is the level of market sophistication? overcrowded. Okay, tons of body butters, thousands out there claiming that they got the greatest benefit. Okay, but we are at level four, overcrowded. And then we talk about your unique mechanism. What makes your product distinctly able to satisfy their desire, unlike anything else that could? And so it could be a mouthful. My mouthful was we got waterless, super concentrated formula, waterless, super concentrated formula for Arctic grade hydration lasting 24 hours. So if you're having some troubles, I had a good time going through. There was a lot of people who finished their homework, posted it in school. Natalie, I know you were one of them. There was a few others. Robin, I was going through a lot of these and looking at your unique mechanisms, and it was like bullet point lists, which is perfect. That's exactly how we start the process. We brainstorm. What do we do differently? It's how we do these things differently. It's the ingredients. It's all these things. But you want to kind of come up with like a one-liner that summarizes everything. We use only these type of ingredients that has this kind of benefit made for this kind of customer with this kind of effect is essentially what I did here for my unique mechanism. Now, if you don't have it like a one-liner, it's not going to be the end of the world because we're not always going to use that full line. This one-liner, I'm not plugging this into all the formulas. I'm using pieces of it in different instances. Okay, so this is the first thing that we want everybody to have done. We would have done that in the first session. And then we're going to go through a few exercises now. And I want to do this one live with everybody. So let me share this. I'm just gonna get the link here, and we're gonna get ready. We're gonna put our thinking caps on. We're gonna get to work today on this call. All right. So I'll just pop into the chat. There's the link there. And so when you open that, you're only going to be able to view it. So you're going to have to just make a copy like we do with all the other documents in Merchant Mastery. Just make your own copy. And I think it would be really helpful and awesome if you could fill these out as we go through it. And specifically, the first two are kind of annoying because we don't have formulas in the first two. And I just because I wanted to get that muscle moving. This is like we're going to the gym and we got to do 5 minutes of cardio before we're lifting weights. So this is the warm up. This is the warm up. We're gonna go through these first two tables, and I don't want you to overthink these. The purpose of the warm up is to not overthink it. But if we look at the stage of awareness in this table, we're going to create headlines based on the stage of awareness. Okay. And like you should be able to just whip these up. It doesn't need to be perfect. But remember what the five stages were. Unaware. This is when the customer they don't realize that they have a problem. When they don't realize that they have a problem, we need to reveal the problem or tap into hidden desires. Okay, and I'll show you some of these examples in a sec, but let me just recap all the stages. Problem aware. Now they know they have a problem, but they don't know what the solution is. Okay, and this is when you would highlight the problem and hint at a solution. Then we go down to solution aware. They know that solutions exist, but they don't know about your product yet. And so this is when you need to differentiate your product as the best solution. I will tell you right now, most of us are here. Most of us are at solution aware. If you're an inventor, an innovator, and you have a product people haven't heard of, you're gonna probably be up here, probably at like problem aware. It's really hard winning when you're focused on people who are unaware. Really hard. Why? Because the learning curve is steep. And so you're not going to be able to generate immediate sales with your ads. You're trying to educate them on the problem and get them to believe that they even have a problem, and then get them to believe that it's enough of a problem that they need a solution. It's way better when they already know they have a problem or they've been looking for a solution, just haven't found yours. The next two, product aware, this doesn't really have to do with your long form story ad. Long form story ad is reaching out to people who haven't heard about you yet. So they're either going to be one of the three. They're either going to be unaware, problem aware, or solution aware. Product aware is people in your email list. Okay, so this is when people now know you. It's people who you're doing retargeting ads with. It's people in your email list, people in your customer database. Okay, so I'm going to be giving you tips on how to write headlines and hooks for these people too, which you're going to be able to use in like your Black Friday campaigns. You're going to be able to use it in your email campaigns. But for the purpose of the long form story ad, it's going to be the top three. Okay. And then the most aware, these are the people who are bought in. They're actually ready to buy. They just need a little nudge. And this is why like big events like Black Friday usually work really good for these people, where we don't talk a lot about the origin story. We're just like big sale, 20% off, limited time. And they're like, okay, I'm in. I already know this company. I'm in. Okay, so like I said, really I want to work on these top three here, but let's look at some examples. So I have some examples for field trip for each of these. And you can fill these out in your own document as we go through it. It'd be a good idea. And the purpose for this one is just to warm up. We don't want to overthink it. So just picture this for a sec. We're selling the body butter. It helps with deep hydration. They don't know that they have a problem. So we're calling out the problem. And just think about what your product solves. What is the problem that your product solves? So what's drying out your skin every day? Hint, it's not what you think. Okay, do you see how this one is not even pitching the product at all? When they're unaware, we need to get them to raise their hand and be like, "Yep, that's a problem for me. Do you have this problem? Yep, I have that problem. What's going on here?" Okay, so this one you would just kind of say, "What's the problem that your product solves?" Like I'm going to use Don as an example, who has my race tats. He has like the little temporary tattoos that you put on when you're going to go run a marathon. And so you would say, "What's the reason you keep wanting to give up in the middle of a race?" Because you're like a cheerleader that's going to help them stay determined and get through the race. First, we're just trying to address the problem. And you're just saying, what is it that makes you want to quit a race? And then you got to teach them, well, it's your mental endurance. It's not always your body. Okay, so you would just think, what does my product help with? And then you're just calling out that problem. Okay, when they're problem aware, they know about the problem, but not the solution. So for this example, they know it's not like what's causing the skin to dry. Now it's like, no, I'm struggling with dry, flaky skin. So now you're like, okay, well, highlight the problem, hint at a solution. Struggling with this problem? We might have something for you. Okay. Struggling with dry, flaky skin? Here's the secret to all day hydration. So it's just calling out the problem, speaking about the benefit that you're going to provide. Okay. Struggling to finish a race because your mind's telling you want to give up. Now they're problem aware. They know it's the mental thing that's making them want to quit the race. Your mind playing tricks on you, making you want to quit your race. Here's the secret to getting through every race. I'm writing dawns for these as we go through this. Okay, and then solution aware. Now they know solutions, but they don't know your product. So now you need to show how your product is a better solution, which we usually do with numbers. Okay, we use like proof claims. Okay, so now we're saying, why switch to waterless? Our body butter delivers 24 times more hydration. So we know that they know the product category really well, and we can just call it out and say we're going to switch from water-based body butters to waterless for 24 times more hydration. Okay. And it's funny because in Don's instance, I think his customers more here, problem where they wouldn't know to go buy temporary tattoos to get them through a race. So we might have to quit on writing Don's headlines here. But this is when they know the product and you're just calling it out. That's not working for this reason. This works for that reason. Okay. And then they're product aware. In this one, they know about your product, just need convincing. This is classic like TBIF stuff. It's transaction brand influence function. So we're addressing objections and emphasizing the benefits. It's a good time to use influence attributes, reviews, testimonials, what people are saying, re-highlight the benefits. Okay, over 10,000 customers swear by Super Body Butter for winter-proof skin. And then most aware, we don't even need to, they just need a nudge. Order Super Body Butter today and get 20% off. Hydrated skin awaits. Include the benefit. Okay, so this is the first step, is just going through this to kind of warm up today. I will come back at the end. When I'm done showing all the tables, we're gonna do examples of each one. Okay, so but let's go to the next, just so that I can get through all of the training material before we do the live Q&A at the end. Okay, so the next table for creating headlines is going to be based on market sophistication. So those ones were all about the customer's stage of awareness and how aware they are of the problem and your solution. This one is based on how saturated or unsaturated the market is in your product category. Okay, so if you're, we've listed out these stages here. So level one is the pioneering stage. This is when you're a brand new product with no competition. So let's pretend for a sec that there wasn't other bodybuilders that were waterless. I'm sure there are, but or we could come in with a big claim that nobody's ever made. Discover the world's first body butter designed for 24-hour hydration. That's like when you're the first of its kind. And I don't know if we could use that one because I doubt we would be the first, but that's an example. Okay, level two, the better solution. So there's competing solutions where you need to highlight your difference. Why our waterless body butter outperforms every traditional cream. And you're just kind of polarizing alternative products that people are used to. And you're positioning yourself as a better solution than the things people are used to. Okay, and then level three is the intensified claim. This is when we're including like numbers, social proof, data, and claims. So it's saturated with claims. And we're going to use bold, specific claims with proof. 3 times more hydration, lasting 24 times longer than traditional moisturizers. We're putting some data to it. You could say something like 90% of doctors prefer our body butter for deep hydration. Okay, let's keep going. So now we're at the unique mechanism stage. This is when the market is completely overcrowded and we need to focus on our process, not the data and the claim, the process of how we deliver this result unlike anybody else. And so we've been kind of using this line that we're like the skincare of body car. We're the skincare of body care. We have waterless formula with active ingredients to truly hydrate your skin. Most body butters, they don't treat it like skincare. We do. Waterless, active ingredients, high potency. Okay. And then finally, the level five is an interesting one. This is when the market is so saturated that people have lost all emotional connection with your product category. And they've just heard everything. They've heard claims, they've heard proof, they've heard unique mechanisms. And this is when we want to go back to focusing in on the transformation and the benefit of your customer on an emotional level. When everybody's like so tired of hearing claims and proof and results, we just got to go back to the emotion because nobody's doing that anymore. And so we would say something like the slow ritual. We're talking now about the emotion, the slow ritual your body and mind deserve. Okay, so I know I'm not giving too much time for this homework, but I think it's a good idea to go through this and kind of brainstorm. And these ones don't need to be you don't need to overthink these. Just pretend you're the first in your category. Introducing the world's first temporary race tattoos to make sure you get through every race. Okay, and then the better solution stage. There are temporary tattoo companies, and so it's kind of like finally temporary tattoos that are specifically catered to runners to get them through races. The intensified claims. We've helped 90 racers finish 90% of their races in the last 3 months. Okay, unique mechanism. It's like our temporary tattoos have mantras that have helped people perform over the years and they're non-toxic and they don't wear off and you can see it right on your hand. It's the method on delivering the transformation. And then emotion, it's just like fall in love with racing again. Okay, so the purpose of these first two is literally, like I said, it's a warm up. I don't want you to overthink them. I don't want you to just follow the instruction on what we're trying to do, right? Like this one was it has the instruction right there. Reveal the problem, highlight the problem, hint at a solution. So hopefully everybody was able to go through these. And I'll come back. We'll do some live Q&A, but just drop in the chat just like a yes or no if you were able to do at least two hooks out of those two tables. Yeah, and Mary, my answer to you and to everyone, let's fill out all of them. Let's fill out all of them. So we're gonna pretend our product's brand new. We're gonna pretend we're in a saturated market when we're not. And so you're just because I really the reason I wanted this one to be so manual without any formula is I want you to remember the difference. And I want you to start to consider that. Oh, are they aware? They are aware. Maybe I should use this kind of headline in my BFCM email. Okay, so you really do want to get in the habit of using these so that you remember these. This is like this is lifting weights here. All right, filling it out. Susan, awesome. Ksenia trying, yeah. Don't worry, we'll come back. We're gonna come back. We're gonna workshop these live together today. This is where it's gonna get a little easier. So I wanted to start with something that was an easy exercise, easy-ish, that is helping us build the practice. But now we're gonna go down to what I think this is like probably my favorite in here. I've included three formulas for you. These are the unique mechanism headlines. So far we did customer stage of awareness, market sophistication level. Now we're going to do unique mechanism. And then next we're going to do ones that integrate all. But for this one, we're just going to really make sure that we're focusing in on the unique mechanism and the desire. Okay, and the problem, the desire, it's all desire, unique mechanism. So if there was like no part of this homework that you didn't do any of the homework, but you had to do one thing, I'd say it's this table because it's your unique mechanism that's really differentiating you from anything that has come before you. Okay, so let's look at these. So there's three formulas. This one is all about the desire plus the unique mechanism. This one's a classic headline hook formula. Raise the problem, present the solution with your unique mechanism, and then build curiosity, understanding their stage of awareness. Okay, so the formula here, the first one, is you see this one a lot in e-commerce in this day and age. I see this one all the time. Finally, this solution that actually works. Okay, so it's kind of like finally, unique mechanism that fulfills desire. And this would be a really fun one for anybody to do live here. Finally, a waterless body butter that keeps skin hydrated for 24 hours. These I'm almost ready to use in a real campaign. Like to me that's really nailing it. It's like we're gonna solve your desire unlike anybody that has before. Finally, waterless body butter that keeps skin hydrated for 24 hours. So unique mechanism, waterless body butter, desired result, keep skin hydrated for 24 hours. Love that one. Okay, the next one. Struggling with problem, unique mechanism is the answer. Struggling with dry, irritated skin, our waterless body butter restores moisture and locks it in. So it's going, but this whole thing is unique mechanism. Restores moisture, locks it in. So you wouldn't want to say is the answer. I'd rather define the answer. So we got answer in there, so it's pretty generic, pretty broad for everybody. But you would want to define your outcome that your product provides. So unique mechanism. So you see here, it's like struggling with problem, unique mechanism, answer, locks it in. It's kind of like unique mechanism, and then this is the answer. Restores moisture, locks it in. And these are pretty easy to do. And so as long as you've defined your unique mechanism well, and you understand the desire, like the most prominent desire, these will be really effective. Okay. And um, then we're gonna go to formula three. Okay. So formula three, curiosity plus stage of awareness. What's the secret to fulfilling this desire? Unique mechanism. These are all pretty similar. These are unique mechanism ones, right? So what's the secret to deep hydration? Our proprietary cooling technique produces an ultra potent concentrate where less lasts longer. Um, Scale of 1 to 10 in the chat, how excited you are about the unique mechanism headlines. Are these ones getting people a little excited? Dawn, thumbs up. Love. Robin, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I like these ones are my favorite here. And Natalie too, good stuff. Great, Robin. Okay, good stuff. Uh yeah, yeah, Veronica, I'll circle back during the Q&A. I know that the essential piece. Oh, Veronica, I sent you a video in school. You should go check that out while we're doing this right now. I gave you some feedback on your homework in school. Okay. Um, okay, so this is the third table, right? One, two, three. Okay, now, oh, sorry, I missed, there's one more. There's one more down here. Formula 4, bold promise plus unique mechanism. So unique mechanism delivers desired result guaranteed. Super butter delivers Arctic grade hydration for all day comfort guaranteed. All right, so we got those four formulas. I don't know why I thought there was three, I guess because it was cut off. But we have four. And I think like I was saying before, if there's no other homework you're going to complete, these are the four that you're going to want to do. Okay. And then, all right, so now here's this is the roller coaster part of the conversation. Now I have a headline matrix. I have a headline matrix that I'm going to introduce you to. This is this is pretty next level. So remember I was asking you, and so these are where the two things intersect now. Okay, so far we were isolating them. We're treating them on their own. We were like stage of awareness, market sophistication, unique mechanism. Now we're going to integrate the three to meet the customer where they're at. And so I'd asked everybody like, what stage of awareness is your customer at? What level of sophistication is the market? Based on that answer, we got a grid. And the grid is going to show you based on where your customer's at, where the market's at, what type of headline you should be writing. And so in each of these boxes, it's going to tell you what to do. Then it's going to give you three formulas to pick from 38 type of headline formulas that I have at the bottom. 38 types of, hooks. I'm going to just add headlines. Okay. So 38 types of hooks, headlines. Maybe I'll just call it headlines. Just be consistent. Okay. We got the how to, we got the question headlines, command headlines, reason why headlines. And for each of these, we've included the purpose of the headline, two formulas, and a field trip example. Okay. So you're going to go back to the matrix and you're going to be like, okay, for that is a good tool. Yeah. I was really, really excited to reveal this one here today. So for field trip, we know that they were at the saturated market level and the customer was solution aware. So it's going to be like amplifying the benefits with proof or comparisons, but it also is like they're like borderline at crowded. So I would look at both these. I'd be like, we're looking at people who are solution aware. I want to look at the saturated market ones and the overcrowded market ones. Okay. So the headlines that I'm going to want to write, it's about amplifying the benefits with proof or comparisons. And I've listed out three in each box. So we might want to use an educational headline, an instructional headline, and a guarantee headline. And we've recommended three in each box based on where your stage of awareness and market sophistication intersect. And I've included examples. So it's like, here's three templates you should create hooks with or headlines with, and here's an example. So 3 times more hydration, lasting 24 times longer than traditional creams. Remember, we saw that one earlier. For this one, focus on a unique mechanism and why it works. So if we were going this route, I would want to do educational metaphor guarantee. And so how our rapid cooling technique delivers Arctic grade hydration. Okay, so your task here is to figure out where your stage of customer awareness and market sophistication intersect. It's going to give you three headline formulas to use. And then there's a table here that says three headlines from the matrix. Okay, so you would list yours here. Mine were educational, metaphor, guarantee. And then there's two formulas for each type of headline. So you pick the one you like, pick the one that you think you can fill out better. This one says the science behind unique mechanism and why it works. The science behind our rapid cooling technique and why it delivers Arctic grade hydration. This to me is getting close to the category three type, the category of one headline. This is getting there. This is getting really good. Okay, headline two, metaphor. This metaphor will change everything about problem. And so Arctic hero is the metaphor. This Arctic hero will save your skin from winter damage. So it's talking about the problem. Okay, headline three. This one was feel emotion. This was the guarantee. Feel emotion benefit instantly with product name guaranteed. Feel ultra hydrated skin for 24 hours with only one small application. Guaranteed. These are, to me, I like this process of the different ways that we're coming up with these headlines. We did the stage of customer awareness, we did the market sophistication, we did the unique mechanism, and now we're doing the three from the matrix. And I think if everybody here could go through all of those exercises, you're going to have a good variety of headlines that you're going to produce. Okay. And then, so for the rest of the worksheet, we've got the 38 types of headlines. Yeah, yeah. Gata's question was, so we choose where we fit in the matrix and work from there. Yeah. So you would be like, what level of sophistication and what stage of customer awareness, and you would pick where those things intersect. Oops. Okay. So you would pick where those things intersect, and you're like, oh, mine intersects here. This is what I got to focus on. Here's three headlines formulas that I should use from the list below. Okay. So now, Field Trip is the name of the brand, Robin, that I was showing with the example, the body butter. It was Field Trip was the name of the brand. So that I just have like Field Trip examples in there. All right, so now I'm just going to stop sharing for a sec just so I can see how everyone's feeling. Yeah, do you think that some of those were helpful? Some thumbs up? Excited to use some formulas? Okay, okay, good stuff. Okay, so now we're all going on a field trip. That's right, Katie. Buckle up. It's a roller coaster. Okay, so now let's do some live workshopping. Let's do some live workshopping. Um, oh yeah, ask your questions right now before we do the live workshopping. Any clarifying questions? So Jen's asking, should we choose one of the two formulas for each headline? Yes. That's what I did in my example. That's what I did in my example
So just one or the
was
other of the
yeah,
examples. Okay.
yeah. And you just kind of look at yours and be like, what's going to make more sense for me? Could I answer this one better, or is the other one work better? Okay, so you know what? Let's kick it off. Ksenia, you had your hand raised first, which is perfect because your question is something I would like to talk about first. Because in order for this to go well,
Yeah.
we need to define the unique mechanism.
Yes. Yeah. Hi, Scott. Hi, everybody. So why I struggle with the unique mechanism is because we sell sheepskins, and I feel that it's not me who is bringing something special to the product that we sell. It's the nature itself. So on the previous call, we talked that I should be adding some like special steps of the tanning of the sheepskins that makes it different. And I did a little bit of a research. And pretty much every sheepskin that tanned in Europe tanned certain way. We can't really differentiate us from the other guys. We all under a strict European Union standard and all that, no chromium and all, but they all are like that. So I feel that our unique mechanism is in the Icelandic sheepskin itself. So there are hundreds of breeds, and only Icelandic can produce that long, shaggy, and incredibly soft wool. So it's not what I did to the skin, it's the nature that gave it to us. You know what I mean? So I kind
But the
of,
nature, the nature is your unique mechanism.
okay.
It is. It's like how the sheep were raised, how they're fed, how we protect them, how they're different, how we,
Mm-hmm.
you know, how It really is your unique mechanism. Is the
So the
difference in
nature, right? Like the actual product, not what we did to it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's your sheep. It's there's 10,000 different kinds of sheep, I think you said, or something.
Hundreds of breeds, like thousands of breeds of sheep. Yeah.
Yeah, so and we can only work with the Icelandic.
Yeah. Okay.
So so this is a strong unique mechanism.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay, because we could be like, yeah, there's like 10,000 sheeps that we wouldn't even consider.
Yeah. And
You
they're
know,
like sitting crying there.
it's like we only work with the Icelandic sheep, and why?
Okay.
And how
Okay.
majestic are they? Like what,
Yeah.
what
Oh, that's a good
and
word.
yeah, majestic. It's the majestic sheep. It's the rare
Okay.
sheep. And we're being a little bit
Okay.
it was being a little bit snobby there.
Yeah.
Like you're like a sheep
Yeah.
snob.
Yeah.
Your
Okay.
unique mechanism is that you're a sheep snob.
Okay. I understand.
And it also is the tanning process that you mentioned.
Okay.
Okay, because remember you and I were I know you're watching Mad Men right now because you and I were
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
Don Draper in one of these episodes. He's talking. I can't remember. I can never remember if it's tobacco or beer because they're always like these crazy. It's always those things
Yeah.
that they're advertising back then. But it was like he pulled out a process that everyone was doing, but nobody was talking about.
Okay.
So just because other people are doing it doesn't mean that we're not going to highlight it as our unique mechanism.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like every sheep, it's like the rare Icelandic sheep snob,
Mm-hmm.
right? And everyone goes through the 17 process tanning thing. And everyone's
Mm-hmm.
like, dang, that is wild. Like that is some
It
rare
is a very long and complicated process, honestly.
that's what we want to be talking about.
Okay.
And I
Sounds
was
good.
this is like a double opportunity to give some feedback for Veronica, who Veronica was asking for feedback on yours as well. And for Veronica, she works with artisan women around the world that create beautiful accessories. Like, so it's like belts and bags and these kind of things. And Veronica, in your exercise, you were talking a lot about, and this is like Katie too. You're talking a lot about the brand attributes. You were talking a lot about the values. And and in my feedback to you, and that video is in school, so anybody can go and watch that. It's in the feed. I was basically saying to you, I wouldn't just talk about as the artisan women. I would talk about what is it about them that makes them so skilled. So it's not like our brand only works with the artisan women. It's like how is the artisan women's skill going to create you a bag unlike any other? So it's not just about the values and we're doing good and we're feeling good. It's like wait till you see how badass their 17 generation bag sewing process is.
Can I ask you a question very quick about that very, very fast? This is like very good feedback, and I'm so sorry. I don't know why it didn't pop up. I usually get like notifications, and I was checking yesterday and I didn't see anything, but thank you. And this is very valuable. So one of our products, so we have different products, right? But one of them, and we talked about this, it's a passport clutch, and it's a 3-in-1. You can put your passport, you can put your credit cards, but then you can use it as your as a nighttime clutch. So, and we talked about that the woman who make this, the stitch they use is the same stitch that is used for sewing airplanes. So I just have so I know that I can play around with that. Like, you mentioned something about, do you think we're crazy that we're using the same stitching as blah, 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 which I think I'm going to start using that one. But the other thing is is it like, I don't know how to test this, but can we talk about, here's an airplane seat and here is our clutch. What are these two have in common? Something like that, just to
Yeah.
differentiate ourselves and do something that is completely different that you're not expecting to see. Airplane seat with a clutch.
Yeah, it's like good enough for jumbo jets, strong enough for daily wear.
Okay, that's the hook that I need.
Like and that's it. I was a little bit sad because I already knew about your airplane stitching. You told me that in a previous conversation. I was a little sad to not see your airplane stitching in your worksheet, in
Because
your homework.
it's a product per se, not every product is like that. So I was going more with the brand, like more high
Yeah.
level than just the product
Okay, that's
specifically,
fine.
but
Okay, good.
hopefully
Okay,
I'm
good
gonna
point.
go to that.
Good point. But you were talking a lot about the artisan women, and I'm like, what makes them so artisan? That was my question. What makes them so artisan? What's their skill like? What's their background like? What's their education like?
Okay.
Is it multi-generation, unique European processes that is unlike any processes that you've ever seen? That's the unique mechanism.
Yeah, the mechanism that they used to use for the royalties, actually, in Spain in this case, the same one they used in the 60s. But I just didn't know that that is something important or something that would create.
That's the magic. That's the magic. Royalty. It's the royalty stitching.
Okay.
It's the royalty stitching. That's your
It's
unique mechanism.
also like the devil or whatever, the magic is in the details. So it's like those are the kinds of things where people are like, entranced by.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, it's the little details exactly. It's the unique mechanism. Those little those it speaks to a brand value. It's like your attention to detail. We only work with artisans with the 17 generation royalty stitching process.
Okay. No, this is great. Thank you so much.
Just to
Thank
jump
you.
in for a minute, I think what I would be looking for too as a customer that would interest me is the lengths you go to find these artisans. Like, where do you find these people? Where are they
Yeah.
from? Like, how did you
Good.
curate your collection of artisans? Like, what was your motivation for that? I'd want to know too, like, you know, that would really interest me. Just your
Yeah, and it's
process
like
on finding them and who they are.
Love it.
yeah, and this was a conversation that kind of came up last time. I know Katie was like the ethics like queen, making sure we all include some ethics and some values, which we do want to do. But when I was looking at your worksheet, Veronica, it was very much like got to support the artisan women. And that doesn't speak to a benefit to them. It speaks to a benefit to the artisan women. And which is cool. We want to do that. I'm not saying to not do that. Let's be clear on that. I love the brand attributes. I love the mission. I'm on board. But let's also highlight what kind of benefit the artisan women are going to provide for the customer, which is the royalty stitching.
Awesome. Thank you. So this is very helpful. Thank you.
Category of one. All right. Okay, so Ksenia, were you pretty clear on your unique mechanism?
Yes, I was definitely. Yeah. I'm gonna work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really romanticizing how rare and the you know how detailed the process is and how it's unlike any other process and delivers the result better than any other person.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
do we have any more questions about unique mechanisms, or should we start doing some headlines? I could I definitely want to go through some of the examples, so maybe I could go through some of the hands and that'll answer some things and we can write some headlines. Amy, what were you thinking? Were you getting my attention?
No, yeah, I'm happy to go through the hands and whatnot. I do have a
Okay.
question on the unique mechanism, but go through it. Go through it.
Okay, let's go through it. And I definitely, in my mind, I'm going to make sure that we're also like creating some headlines. Okay, so Don.
Hey, so my the thing that I'm realizing that the number one desire of athletes is just to feel accomplished and fulfillment is when they're racing. And so I think that's the biggest thing that I'm learning is they want to feel fulfilled and accomplished and have pride in their accomplishment. And you know, there are going to be some ups and downs during a race, and that they can have confidence that they can complete it. And so I think the biggest thing, as far as I came up with, so they want to just feel strong, resilient, overcome physical and mental barriers, reminding them of their inner strength. And that's kind of what is behind the why I created my race tats. And it's just helping them find that inner strength that they have already inside them. It's just, this is a mechanism or a trigger that helps them know that. And then just to experience the euphoria or of achievement and what they have trained for, and they can bask in pride in the completion that some people, you know, have even that most people can't even imagine doing. Some, because like ultra running 100 miles or running a marathon or things like that. So I think that's the biggest thing that I'm learning, and that it would just give them a mental boost. And so I did come up with a couple of headlines.
Okay, before you do, I'm just going to tell everybody that what Dawn just said was brilliant. Because this is the purpose of this exercise, is to not manufacture the desire. Like, you should care about this. It's to tap into the desire that's already there.
Right.
And that's the fastest path to them understanding the value of your offer and buying.
Right.
Is to tap into the desire that's already there.
Right.
Okay. And that's that's a new angle for you, Don. Like, I haven't heard you talk a lot about that innate desire before.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. And that's something, just going through the exercises has helped me kind of like, okay, wow, okay. They want to feel accomplished. They want to have pride in that. And that's their desire, is they want
Okay.
to, be fulfilled with that, accomplishing something that not very many people even have considered even doing. Because
I just got goosebumps actually.
yeah,
Because I think if your messaging can tap into that feeling that they have, they're gonna be like, yeah, Don, that's it. That's
right,
it.
right. Yeah, and trying and working on coming up with video evidence or videos that evoke those emotions, I think is powerful. Sure.
Okay, you're gonna show us some headlines or a
Yeah.
headline.
Share my screen here. Get myself out of the way here. So these are just some things that I had written down. Can you see this? Finally, you have a
Yeah,
personal
cool.
cheerleader that fits on your wrist, struggling with hitting the wall in your race. Mantra tattoos give you that. I didn't really finish this one. What's the secret to finishing your race strong? And I didn't quite finish that one. I think
I just
that's
keep wanting to say motivation, motivation. I'd like to
right.
put that word in there. Every time you have it, I don't know what to say there. I'm like, motivation.
Right. Yeah.
Drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the purpose of right now, like, do you want to, what do you want to do? Do you want us to like flush out one of these perfectly? Or do you
Yeah.
want to, yeah.
Maybe just get some feedback on, yeah. And I think what you had said as far as where I fit in the matrix, figuring that out, I think that's the biggest thing. So I think I was kind of in this camp as far as unaware, but I think they are problem aware about the mental aspects of racing and training.
Yeah, the question to know if that's true is, it's like, do they know it's hard mentally to get through a race?
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
they're
they
problem
do.
aware. Then they're
Yeah.
problem aware.
Okay. Yeah. And so that would be this section. And then as far as, and it's unique because I mean, there are other tattoos companies out there that they sell to the mass population, and they're more about, personal growth, transformation. And this is just strictly, I'm strictly focusing on the athlete and the athlete mindset and how a mantra can help them with their
You're
mental
right
strength.
there. Yeah, you're right there. You're no competition, problem aware.
Right.
Running headquarters.
All right. Like that. So yeah, I guess that's the biggest thing, is just coming up with kind of like, maybe one or two headlines, or are those
Yeah.
headlines that I came up with pretty
So
good?
so go back to the Matrix. I love saying Matrix. I also like that movie. Um, okay, let's look at yeah, where you are. You were way up there with level one. Okay, so you're right there. So see how it says in brackets there, I guess there's only two. There's only two formulas for you, but maybe we could pick
Okay.
two from one of them. So there's headline type number 10 and headline type number 17.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go down and find 10 and 17. Okay, and so we would pick one of these. Struggling with finishing a race, personal little cheerleader on your wrist will give you the confidence, to motivation to complete with your personal best record.
Okay. I like that. And then 17.
Okay, advice headline. Okay. And these are because you just remember yours is problem aware. So we don't need to like differentiate you. It's like
Mhm.
you got that problem. This is it's actually a lot easier when you're dealing with a market who's only problem aware.
Right.
Like the level of sophistication is just problem aware because they don't know that there's solutions.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, no, that's helpful. I'll kind of work on that, and then you can maybe move on to Gata and Amy as
Yeah,
well.
like
Yeah.
that.
So
We'll
thank you.
keep going through. But yeah, and just as a reminder for you and everybody else, the homework assignment for today is just going to be to finish all those headlines. So you would have like 10 plus 4, 14 plus there's 17 headlines by the next session.
Wow. Okay. Cool. All right. Thank you so much.
And the good news is like because you know that the level 3 of creativity is the hardest thing to do, we're doing all the legwork now.
Right.
It's actually going to be a lot easier to create those category of one headlines if we do this 17 like you do 17, we're going to pick like a few of them. And then we're going to add in some flavor, some uniquely you language, benefits, stories. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, looks awesome. All right, Gata. Hi.
Hi, Scott, this is amazing.
I
Thank
know
you.
I know you've desperately needed this for your category industry.
Yeah,
I
it's really
keep thinking
helping
about
me a
you.
lot.
I do keep
I
thinking about
I want to show you something that I came up with. This one.
Okay. Yeah, so okay, so you're in the pioneering stage, no product or competition. Absolutely true. Okay, if Apple made pillboxes, it would look like this. Okay, so hold on a sec here. Um, what did you let me see the cut the other the stage of awareness.
Down here. Is it down?
Oh, do you know at the very top actually? It would be at the very
Oh,
yeah, here,
here.
stage awareness. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're problem aware.
Yes. For me, I think they're problem aware.
I don't know if they think they need an Apple level pillbox.
Hmm. I see what you mean.
It's uh like because they're going from like Walmart or like I don't even know where to get those like really cheap plastic pillboxes
Yeah,
that
drugstore.
yeah, you're going from drugstore to Apple. Why wouldn't they just use the drugstore might be the question. I think it's interesting. Have you tested that before?
No, I think the way I think about it, you know how we transitioned from regular phones to smartphones?
Yeah.
I feel that's the transition, but I'm not
Okay,
able to
I got it.
convey.
I got it.
Mm.
Yeah, I got it. Sorry I didn't mean to cut you off. I just got excited there for a sec. So, sorry. Finish your thought before I get too
That's
antsy
that's
there.
that's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Okay. Press like are you on an Apple right now? Speaking of Apple,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Command F.
Okay. F.
Yeah, hold down Command and press F,
Mm-hmm.
and then type in metaphor. I think what you're missing
Hmm.
is so here's some metaphor because Apple's a metaphor. So let's look at these metaphor headlines. I think what you're missing is the benefit and the desire.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the Apple part. It's missing what it does for the customer.
Yes.
Okay, so look at some of these metaphor. It's like, Mabliss, like Apple to organize your pills and give you that sense of, it's missing what it does for them.
Yes.
So there's another metaphor. This apple-like pill container will, so you got to define the benefit that the apple. I like the apple part. It's missing what it does for the customer.
Mhm.
What about even, you guys are saying from drugs, it just even sounds great to me because I was like not even considering this, but from drugstore to Apple chic kind of thing, like, or to simplicity of Apple, like that is like the upgrade, right?
Yeah. Uh, I think the issue is also there's a big price difference, and I feel like many don't understand how I'm justifying the price difference. So it's not just cheap, it's just it makes your life easier. So
Katie, that part's missing. Can you show us your headline or the headline you wrote?
yeah,
That's sophistication, right? It's simple elegance.
yes.
Okay. Yeah. So if Apple made pillboxes, it's missing. It's almost there. It's just missing the benefit, how it makes
Oops.
their life easier.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Um, I think, yeah, I think what it does is that it does a lot of things, and because it does a lot of things,
Yeah, but
um,
so far I'm like, okay, Apple pill. I didn't know I needed an Apple pillbox. Why do I need an Apple pillbox? So that's the. I know I'm hammering this point home, but that's what's missing. If Apple made a pillbox, it would look like this, and it would make your life this much easier. And it's like it's missing that unique mechanism. We're talking about the benefit.
and so if I have so many benefits, I'm not able to combine them. Maybe just say it will make sure that you stay on track with your supplements, or
Is it more like it's handy on the go, like the magnetic technology?
because yeah, because there are many things, many like I feel people don't take them because it spills in their purses, so they don't take it. This is spill proof. And then it's bulky. Mine is not bulky. And
Yeah,
then you can take just one for the day and put it next to your fine dining, whereas the other ones are embarrassing. So it removes the embarrassment. So like I tackle a lot of problems to make sure you take your supplements.
yeah. Okay, so if Apple made pillboxes, it would look like this. And then it's like, so you said
Yes, pill proof.
spillless, or sorry, spill proof.
Mm-hmm.
What else did you say?
Sleek design.
Sleek magnetic lock-in system technology. What else?
Um, Removable pods. So it allows you to take only what you need.
Yeah, removable pods. Yeah,
Um, it's an eco-friendly design.
something like this. If Apple made pillboxes, it would look like this. Spill-proof, sleek magnetic lock-in technology with removable pods. You'll never
Mm.
knew you could fall in love with a pill container.
Oh, you'll never know.
You'd never know you'd fall in love with a pill container. Who knew you could fall in love with a pill container?
I love that. Okay. Oh, wow. I love that. Okay.
Yeah, Sean's
Yes.
like, I didn't know, but now you know.
This is so good. Thank you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah.
also another opportunity here too. As someone who's getting older and now having to take medicine that I never thought I would get to this stage of my life, I did not want one of those plastic things from Walgreens, and I was frustrated with I was so anti getting one of those because I didn't want to face facts that I'm, 56 years old and having those health things. So my I was fighting every morning and every evening of opening all that thing. Finally, my wife, I think if she knew about your product, she would have bought one, but she got a different one for me. And it's beautiful and it's sleek and I love using it. And it's like, it's not my grandfather's pillbox, you know, and it's making it easier for me to slide into this season of life where, well, now I have to take daily medication. And it's okay because I have this cool thing.
That's
So I think that's
exciting.
another opportunity to speak to the resistance within people who might be sliding into that
Yeah,
season of
Greg,
life.
that's a very important point. I actually have it on my website. It's not your grandma's pill container. I have it there. So I'm targeting people who are proactive about their health. When they see it, doesn't remind them of medication or being sick, but remind you of being healthy and taking care of yourself. Do you remember the brand you're using? Curious.
It's called, I'll look it up and I'll put it in the chat.
Please.
It's a
Thank you.
Japanese word,
Oh yeah, Eg Kai or something. I
igiyaki.
know
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
know that. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That is really good feedback, Greg. Because he also not just pointed out it's not your grandfather's pillbox. It's like sliding into that phase of life. It doesn't feel like a downgrade. We're like, oh great, now I'm like dealing with this unfortunate circumstance. I get this cool, sleek thing that makes me feel like empowered where I'm at. I'm taking care of myself.
Exactly. Exactly right.
Thank you.
That's really good. Okay. All right, let's keep going here. Where did all the hands go? Did they disappear? Oh no, they're still there. I don't know why I'm not seeing it on my screen, but I can see it in the chat. Okay, Amy.
Okay, so my question was, I can't, each one of these works for a different thing. I've got the general leave on sleep in category, which includes a couple things, but I've given it, you said give it a name, so we're kind of playing with the name Core Diamond Suite.
Yeah.
So I can write some of it for that, but that might not have meaning. Which in some of these, it's okay because you don't need to know what it is. You know, it's leave on sleep and jewelry, period. And then I can also do this again specifically for hoops, specifically for flatback studs, specifically for back off studs. Does it matter if I'm picking and choosing and dropping all over, or do you have a certain way you want us to do this?
No, I like, okay, so let's go back to the first thing. So you said people aren't going to know what a core diamond suite is.
No, but I have a great tagline for what it is.
But that's the thing. That's the point, is that
But
if we're talking about a desire and a benefit with this unique thing, people are like, what is that? I've never heard that.
okay, excellent. So then for the most part, I got further down and I got stuck that I don't have, because it is generalized. The Core Diamond Suite includes studs and hoops and flatbacks, and like it includes all three of them together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depending on who you are, it's your combination. So it's not one product, one set of benefits. The benefit is, yes, you can sleep in them, you can leave them on. They are lab grown diamonds, et cetera,
the
et cetera.
answer, it's like the answer to elevate every outfit in comfort, introducing our diamond suite. What was
Diamond
it?
Suite, Core Diamond Suite.
Core diamond suite, the answer to elevate every outfit in comfort. And people are like, what's the core diamond suite? See, it's building that like curiosity.
Can I just roll you through what I've got
Yeah,
so far? Some
roll.
of them,
Let's roll. Let's roll.
I'm just kind of plucking all over. And some of these work great for, more specifically, we've used them for flatbacks, but they work for all of it. So can't sleep because it feels like something is poking you in the head.
Okay, yeah. So you got, okay, yeah. Yeah, totally. Boom, boom. Perfect example of someone who's not aware of the problem. And they're like, yeah, actually, that's what it is. That's
Yeah.
what it is. That's why. Yes.
And then this addresses a bit of a different problem. Tired of taking your jewelry on and off each day. Here's the secret to sparkling 24/7.
Yeah. Yeah. Highlight the problem, which they know, and hint at a solution. Yes.
Solution aware. They don't know our solution. What is a core diamond suite? It's what you wear when you're wearing nothing at all. That's my
Okay.
new
So
tech.
yeah. Yeah. I like that.
It works better with images, I'm just saying.
Okay. Yeah. No. So I like this. I like this as it is. it's to me, I would want to come up with a couple of variations if you're using that
Yeah. Yeah.
unique mechanism about like the not just what it is, but the benefit.
Yes. I mean, this piece can be, they don't have to go together. It's a question, but I can put in much more about the benefits in here. Is this so you have features and benefits in this one?
It's so let's see. So it's because see what it says there in the second box, show how your product is the best solution. So it's like it's basically saying that this is going to elevate your outfit and be the most comfortable, right? Like that's what we're delivering on. Is that the desire, comfort,
Yeah.
elevated look?
Real diamonds, comfortable. I mean, this is the general essence of it.
Yeah, and it's
Part of it is
basically
that a lot of people have leave on sleep-in jewelry that's costume.
yeah, so it's doubling down on okay, what is the desire?
To leave it on. The desire is to leave your jewelry on 24/7. Shut up.
Okay. So it's like one of is like struggling to look good and never take off your jewelry. Look no further than our core diamond suite. Okay, so it's
Yeah. I might have even had that in struggle. Where was the struggle one? Oh, there's so many. You could get lost in here. Here. Struggling with uncomfortable earrings, our core diamond suite is the answer.
okay, yeah. And so this one here, perfect. Okay, I'm glad you pulled this one up. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Struggling with uncomfortable earrings. So our core diamond, instead of saying is the answer, everybody remember this one takeaway. I only put the is the answer in there is because it's broad. We want to define the answer.
Okay. Will
What
struggling
does
with
it do?
uncomfortable earrings.
What does it do?
It'll make you shine 24/7.
Even when you're sleeping. It'll make you shine 24/7, even when you're sleeping.
And I did a set when you're
Cute.
Yeah, and this is also just really interesting because it's like, what the heck? Sparkle when I'm sleeping, core diamond suite, what's going on here? It's building.
Yeah.
You're gonna see when we start talking about the category of one headlines in the next session. I have a series of questions to ask. Is like, is this capturing my attention? Am I gonna read the next sentence?
Yeah. I know,
Here it is.
absolutely.
Yeah.
This is so it's leaving that open.
Yeah.
Here, I'll do the same type of thing here. Not happy with what your jewelry says about you. I mean, if you're wearing crappy jewelry, it says crappy things about you. So I can fill in the same type of thing there.
It's kind of like what you got to think about this. If you're gonna say the core diamond suite, because it's an unknown term, we gotta say it does this bold promise.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
not happy with what your jewelry says about you. Core diamond suite, bold promise.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I can dig deeper. I can dig deeper.
You're digging deep. You're digging real deep.
Oh, no idea. No, you actually have an idea. You've seen it. Okay, so I'm gonna do the whole thing using this core diamond first and squeeze the lemon with just that one concept. And then go
Listen,
back and do it again through for the others.
yeah, in an ideal world, like because for those who have not hung out with Amy before, she's an absolute savage. She takes instruction, runs with it 1,700 times, and does everything, which is what we would ideally all do if we're as savage as Amy. Okay, so I think in the best case scenario, you would just do this exercise for the
Over and over.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny. I actually feel like I need to have all my screens and pull up some of the work that we've done already. Because now pull them up and rework them and improve them and stick them in here. Because in the last few months, we've got some really good taglines that have been used that if I bring in here and put them in, it'll be like, oh, I can improve it now.
Yeah, this is a moment to take a step back and say, like, there's a lot of things happening in merchant mastery. We're teaching you to do emails and deliverability and just all these random like annoying tech things come up. You're like the layout of my product page, and you're working on 100 things. the one thing that is going to move the needle more than anything else is nailing it on your positioning.
Yeah.
So if there's any task that should not be on the back burner, it's this. And
I
I've
agree.
seen your messaging evolve, evolve, evolve. I've seen you go from 4 grand months to 12 grand months to 30 grand months
Yeah.
because you're continuing to persistently evolve your positioning.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm keep pushing it.
And it keeps getting better.
This
It keeps getting
format,
better.
it's making it like when I say squeeze the lemon, I mean like literally the lemon is all of our brains right now and it's being squeezed. Like
It's
literally this is forcing us to squeeze it real hard. So
it's the most intimidating thing to get this right. And it's so tempting to just be like, where's ChatGPT when I need her?
yeah,
But
yeah.
this is going to be the thing that unlocks
I agree.
better conversion rates, more ROAS, more email sales, everything.
Yep. I agree.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is very helpful.
Oh, I was just having a moment of like proudness, if that's the word, just because I've seen your messaging evolve and now it's really getting dialed in and you just keep making it better.
Thank you. So appreciate it.
All right, let's keep the momentum going here. Katie. Hello.
Hi, okay, now I have to figure out how to share screen. Okay, one of the things that I was waxing over is the fact that A, I'm a pioneer, but B, it's a saturated market because people don't even know that they need to not be wearing plastic or care. Some people don't care and they're like willing to stick with their names that shall not be mentioned, and they will continue to wear products that are, you know, dumping PFAS and BPAs into their system.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like it's that sweet spot where I am almost like, yes, we're at that stage. Yes, that stage. Yeah, like all five. Like all five. I feel like all five stages are my customers.
Yeah. Yeah. I,
So
so on a like loosely, I would think that because it is apparel, right?
yeah.
But you're right. It is apparel for a specific type of benefit, like non-toxin apparel.
If we're going towards the natural fiber athletics, like I'd make everything, but like if we are like the biggest problem we're solving right now is we are natural fiber athletics and it's toxin free. So that is like there's a massive world out there that's workout wear, right? And they're already millionaires, billionaires, or whatever.
Yeah.
And we're over here doing something completely different for 15 years with the same messaging. And finally, it's relevant in the marketing world. Finally.
Is that because what did you go through like the mass education and the trends? Like people are catching on to the materials and stuff?
It's yeah, there's lawsuits happening, there's all of that is happening in
Okay.
the world. And it's like people are
Okay.
finally coming to
'Cause
terms with
here's
that.
when we think about that first worksheet, it was like mass education. So people finally catch up and they're like, ooh, smoking's bad.
Yeah.
Or ooh, this kind of clothing's bad. And they finally catch up.
Who
You
knew wearing plastic was
you
not a good idea?
in that scenario, you don't want to be the mass educator.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
big job to undertake.
Mm.
And it's a grind to be that educator and get everybody on board and get everybody,
15
so as
years.
long
15
yeah,
years was the educator. It's really tough.
yeah,
It's really
yeah.
tough.
And so I'd
So
rather
now it's like I have the clients that are finally they're learning and they're hearing it on their own and they're looking for me. They are looking for me. So I feel like that's the sweet spot where it's like that, oh wow, it's
it's your moment. You're ready for this. But it is more of an opportunity when the market is catching up.
yes,
You're
yeah,
under
exactly. It's
yeah.
like being ahead of the crest doesn't always, it's not always amazing, right? So I've just been working over here, window 1, 2, 3. Which one is it? Maybe this one. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's it. How do I do that? Share. So I am just over here, like I've just been like not thinking, just writing. So
Yes, that was the assignment. Yes.
yeah, good, perfect. So what's this stuff here? Unaware, this is stage of awareness. Did you know you're wearing plastic? Problem aware, we make natural fiber athletics that are 95% plastic, less plastic and toxin free. We've been doing it naturally solution aware since 2009 because we knew nothing good could come from wearing plastic. And then I didn't get to here. And then over here, sophistication. On our way to the ashram for yoga teacher training in India in 45-degree heat, we knew we didn't want to wear sweat and plastic. We wanted something better next to our skin. Then it's this better, like you can wear 100% cotton. These are the aware people. You can wear 100% cotton, but it won't have the hold of spandex. You could wear recycled plastic bottles or bamboo, but you'll still be exposing yourself to all the toxic chemicals you should be avoiding. We're sweating to get or stay healthy. Why are we wearing clothing that adds to our toxicity load? That's why we make natural fiber athletics. And then striving to be healthy, upgrade your wardrobe with these elevated basics, better for you, better for the planet. So that's what I've kind of gotten to today in this soup that we're in.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's good. Those first two tables that you just showed us, those are like flex the muscle, get the ball rolling.
Yeah, okay.
I think you have like because you are a category of one.
Yeah, ish. There are people, but yeah.
But yes, but like in so the, not to like, but when we get to the next section,
Okay.
like not next section, sorry, the next session when we're doing the
Oh,
category of
I'm
one
like
headline,
scrolling. Which one?
like we're gonna start just saying things that are true about us that are not true about other people. So you would
Okay.
say like, for the last 15 years, I thought I was nuts.
Yeah, it's like I always say this, I felt like woo saying that
Yeah.
you are what I felt too woo, and that's why I always felt like I was like people are like, you're a little bit out there.
And so here's how I feel. Okay, so here's why I was just like, you want to say things like that. For 15 years, nobody else could say that. Your competitors can't say that. You've been doing it for 15. I don't know how long they've been doing it. So you want to integrate true, like this is just kind of a preview of where the category of one headline is going to go. It's like, for 15 years, I thought I was nuts or something like that.
Yeah,
But finally, people are catching on.
yeah,
Okay, so I don't, because the truth is, the market isn't educated. They're getting educated.
yeah,
My greatest amount of education about this category came from you still. So
right,
you were still educating. That's how I learned
right,
about it. So you are
right,
still out there educating. But I would piggyback off of some proof that the market is shifting that way.
right. And proof from where? What do you mean by that? Like a lawsuit or
No. It's just like
the science?
alluding to the fact that it's happening.
The science. Okay, yeah.
Finally, I've been doing this for 15 years and finally people are catching on.
Science is catching
We're
up.
seeing
Yeah.
more lawsuits. We're seeing more of this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And these things all happen in conversation, but to get it in print and get people like going, oh my God, yeah, I just saw this article or whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. And so I would like to see it in when you did some of like if you do some of the formulas, like the unique mechanism one, there's one in particular that's like problem solution. That's a really classic one that I hope everyone does, the problem solution formula.
Okay. I
And
mean, I
that,
don't even know if I read what I was doing. I just was like,
yeah, it would say so the problem is in the last 3 months alone, I saw 17 lawsuits of people getting sick from toxic fitness wear.
right.
Finally, the world is catching on to something I've obsessed about the last 15 years.
Yeah. And
That's an
that's
example. Yeah.
this one, market sophistication, or where is it? Is that the above one? Problem solution.
It's in under the unique mechanism. So it's the next table down.
Okay, great.
It's right here. The Formula 2 problem solution. So
Oh
up.
yeah, here's one. Here's one, Scott. I want to check. In a world full of people looking for painkillers, we're selling vitamins, super chic, elevated workout wear you'd never know was good for you. That's like,
Here we go. Yeah, category of one headline.
yeah,
Okay. So you were just like making your own analogies and like
yeah,
nobody's saying that in their headline.
yeah. That's been the problem is that everybody's looking for painkillers and we're selling vitamins. So, but it sounds cute and I think it is, it'll
It's
take,
really good. I think just the one thing, so I would caution you on one thing.
okay.
and I've already said it, so I'm just going to say it again, is we can't assume the market knows. Like, so I like that headline a lot. We'll see how it goes. We'll test it, right? But there is a chance where they're like, what, like workout wear that's good for me? Like, nah. Like, because they're just not at the level where they're mass educated yet.
Yeah,
So that's why I want to leverage proof that the market is learning.
right. There's little ones like this too, getting rashes from your stinky workout wear, stop wearing plastic. This is like education as well as solution, but
Yeah. This
stop
this
wearing,
one,
go ahead.
this one, this one, not much of a learning curve. If you got stinky rashes, here's what you're missing.
Right.
You know, like is Robin
Yeah,
laughing?
it's not a massive bridge. It's like you've got rashes, we have
Yeah.
non-rash workout wear.
So I guess my caution for you is to try and shy away from doing too much educating unless you're piggybacking off of other people's education. Like I like mentioning the lawsuits and stuff like that. But
Okay.
this one here is just about your problem and it's the solution they didn't know about. Yes.
Yeah, it's so funny because I like this is my least favorite thing to do, but it's like it is real, right? And that was like when people were coming to me after I had that talk with the naturopath doctor, that's what they were like, I worked there for 13 years and I had rashes and I didn't know why. And oh my gosh, that conversation just like lit like a, lit a light in my head. And thank you so much. Like that's where that's like, that's that
Okay.
person.
Yeah. I would say Katie is a good example of someone who's not going to have a hard time with the category of one headlines. The reason is, so the category of headline, that's the next step that we're doing is like we're not doing the formulas, we're going to write headlines. And the reason you're not going to have an issue is because look at like you're just like, yeah, I came up with these on the fly. That's what we should be doing because you're listening to the little nuances in the market. You know how customers react. You know what problems come up. You know about the lawsuits. You know about the shifting trends. And so if you can touch on shifting trends, you're talking about things that nobody else is.
Now I just need to like get the ads out there and bring the
Yeah.
clients in and make the money.
Get all 17 of these done. So I like that you did the on the fly ones, but get some of the formula ones done too.
Okay, great. What's when you say formula ones, do you mean these ones that I'm
Yeah.
on or
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so
okay.
you got them all, looks like. But what
Yeah,
about
I
did you,
might no,
did you
yeah.
get the Matrix? The Matrix ones?
Oh yeah, the Matrix, that's like yeah, I that was fun while I was listening to you guys talk. ADHD on like so let me see if I did do any. No.
Yeah, so get these three done and then you're pretty much done your homework.
Okay, good. I love that.
Awesome. Good
Thanks.
stuff.
Let me stop sharing here.
All right, let's keep moving. Robin, hi.
Hey, how are you?
Really good.
Oh my God, that stinky rash line just killed me. I think you should use that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me share my screen. I wanted to ask you for your feedback, like first about my unique mechanism and like how you would say it because you're so good at this stuff, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if you would, so for everyone who doesn't know, my mom is a speech language pathologist and she created these language kits. So it's 100 picture cards. They're organized into 3 levels of increasing difficulty. So the language is already like leveled so you can help the child grow easily. And then we also have an extension activity with those cards. And then it's paired with high interest miniature objects. So it's really unique. There's nothing like it. I feel like I'm either in like the problem aware, like everyone knows that kids need to learn, well, all teachers know kids need to learn oral language before they can read and write. And there are solutions like you could do flashcards or try and read books or do worksheets. But none of that is going to be as engaging and meaningful as like actually like listening to the language, manipulating the objects to show your comprehension, and then the card is revealed so they hear it, they move it, they touch it, and then they see it. So that's what's unique about our product. And then the other thing I was thinking for the unique mechanism when we were talking about the sheepskins was that my mom is like a professional of 30 years, and like it's
Mhm.
quite unique to have 30 years of hands-on therapy. A lot of SLPs don't do direct therapy anymore. They do like a lot of assessment, and they really just kind of work on speech delays. Not a lot of SLPs even have the opportunity to work on language because there's such a shortage.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you're also, this is another spoiler for the category of one headlines. Sometimes we integrate our brand attributes and influence attributes into it. And because our story, our experience is unlike anybody else. So like,
Mhm.
so you're already getting us to work on the category of one headline by doing that, which I like. This is a good like preview of what's coming in the next session. So here's how I would tackle this. Okay, so let's see what you wrote there. Struggling to teach oral communication. Okay. Is that how they would word it? They would see that and be like, "Oh yeah, I am." Oral communication.
I hope that resonates. Like the other things you could say is like listening and speaking skills, or just language skills, or language goals.
I like language skills.
Yeah.
You can we can debate that one. Okay, so we do need to know what term your audience responds best to. And you can do that
Hmm.
easily through like, just looking at ads or emails, and you could isolate that test in the future.
For sure. Yeah.
But but I think if it was like struggling to teach language skills, I would introduce the problem.
Hmm.
Okay. Was it
What
mostly
one
like,
do I have
is
over
it like,
here? Or wait, sorry. Now I'm like mixed up on my worksheets. Struggling to come up with engaging language activities. That one might be is like really layman terms, and I think like a lot of like preschool teachers or kindergarten teachers or grade one teachers would resonate with that. Like it's a lot of work to even come close to prepping and planning an activity like this.
okay, so this is gonna be the longest headline we ever wrote today. But I think it's something like, okay, so I'm integrating a couple of these things that you wrote. So it's something like struggling to teach language skills, cue cards, and other traditional options are missing this three-level, proprietary thing, three-level system that ensures people actually remember. It took us 30 years of hands-on, on the ground work to perfect this. Okay, so now we're not done. That was kind of like what I want to say, but how do we make that concise, a little bit more concise is the question. But what I'm
I
doing there,
know.
to give you some insight into what I was doing, I'm saying I'm calling out the problem. Are you struggling to teach language skills? What's been missing from what they're trying? How do we solve it? And what's our credibility?
Yeah, that's a lot.
I'm okay with a lot.
Okay.
Okay, if you're if
And
you're
well, that's the thing with my product is like why it's like it's tricky is because there's so much to it.
it,
So
yeah, no, I know. So
I
so
don't
the,
know.
so the I think that because it's an innovation though, because it's an innovation, we need to call out the alternative a little bit. Like, what have you been doing that's not
Okay.
working?
Okay. Like when your cue cards aren't working, your worksheets aren't working, and like kids are just sick and tired of like listening to you read a book. The other thing that is like the most unique about our product is that children can express language. So first the adult reads the cards, the child arranges, and then you reveal. But the most innovative part is the children pick up the card, they look at the image, and then they have to come up with the language. So there is nothing like that.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Actually, yeah, okay, I'm writing a hook right now in the chat.
Oh, awesome. Yes.
Um, Okay, so here's an example. I just put it in the chat. Are cue cards and worksheets failing to actually teach language skills? And I just made this up, right? Like I said, are cue cards and worksheets failing to actually teach language skills? That's because they don't incorporate the 3 pillars of permanent learning. I know that permanent learning is something I just made up, but like, what are they missing that your system delivers on that better result?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I guess a lot of like the traditional methods are like two-dimensional.
Okay.
And then the other thing that's missing is there's nothing to help children express language, like specifically.
Yeah, this is getting easier.
Otherwise, kids like right now, it's just kids could just say whatever they want. They could just be like, "Oh, the chair is black." But if they had a picture of a pom-pom inside of a box, they would have to like try and express that image exactly. So that is like a huge innovative component of what we're doing. And it's just really hard for me to articulate.
Here we got another version. Are cue cards and worksheets failing to actually teach language skills? That's because they are two-dimensional and don't incorporate student expression.
Mm,
So
that's more, yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
now we're saying they're missing your unique mechanism.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome. And I can even make it like a little bit more specific with like language
Exactly.
that my customers would use. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
And so there's still an opportunity to tighten this too. Like, are cue cards not cutting it? That could just be that. Are cue cards not cutting it?
Mm-hmm.
Struggling to teach with cue cards? That's because they're two-dimensional and don't incorporate student expression.
Yeah. Okay. You're so good, Scott.
No, you are.
And then and then would you like from there go into like then the created by an expert of 30 years part?
Yeah. So this is like when we do the exercise next week, we'll come up with a version that I'm going to be asking everybody to do this that incorporates your like brand like your origin story, like your obsession with this category.
Okay.
So okay. So cue cards not cutting it. This is like it's not perfect, but it's like cue cards not cutting it. It took us 30 years working with students to learn they need 3-dimensional learning and expression.
Awesome.
So
Yes.
it's just like a
That gives
slight,
me a lot.
yeah, that gives you exactly. It gives you a couple options to play with a little bit.
Yeah, you're calling
Uh,
out the problem. Cue cards aren't cutting it, and then you're talking about our unique mechanism,
yeah, because
which I
that's
can like fiddle with.
yeah, you got
Okay,
it. And then
got
but
it.
even if you didn't go with the second option I wrote there about the 30 years, we are going to cover that because right now we're just working on the headline. So as long as the
Mm-hmm.
headline is compelling enough, as long as the headline's compelling enough to get them to read the next sentence, we're going to cover the 30 years in the origin story.
Yeah, so it's like, here's your problem, we've made a solution, and then we're gonna go into it. So I really need to focus on like problem solution
Yeah.
kind of a thing. Problem
Problem
solution and then.
solution. I think those unique mechanism, those are like my 4 favorite on here because it's really about how you deliver on the desire differently.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That helps. That's really helpful.
I like the couple that we just came up with here.
Yeah, me
And
too. I think like the
yeah,
cue cards are like flashcards is like a really common term.
I think
Um,
flash sounds better. Yeah, sounds more familiar.
flashcards are like it's like so heavily used by SLPs and teachers, like show a picture of an apple and it's like say apple. But you said the word and then they're just repeating it or parroting, it's called. So they're not actually like fully expressing language with their own, like using their own language center. So
Yeah, flashcards not cutting it because parroting words doesn't lead to long-term understanding.
Yeah.
yeah, or the other thing is like our worksheets leaving your students weary or something like that. Like the other thing about our kits is they're so fun. And
Yeah.
like children actually enjoy it and teachers enjoy it. Like we get like high school teachers come over to our booths and they're like, I just wanted to touch the miniatures. Like the other thing that I would maybe think about, so they're fun, they're engaging, multi-sensory thing. Yeah, okay. Well, that's a lot to think about.
Yeah, and like here's the good news. Here's the good news for everybody. Is that in this long form story ad boot camp, it's long. If you didn't catch on to that. It's a long process to write the long ad. And so just to remind everybody, the 5 ingredients of the long form story ad is the category of one headline, which is all we've been working on so far. And then it's going to go into the origin story, and then it's going to go into something we call the differentiation stack. And that's when you get to say cue cards are two-dimensional. We believe in three-dimensional. So we are going to be like flushing out more and more ideas. And by the time you're done your first version of your long form story ad, you're gonna be like, ooh, maybe I want a headline that actually talks about that other thing I talked about in the other part of the story. Like in the other part.
This is interesting because I normally focus a lot on like no prep, no planning. So this is like a new angle that I haven't
Yeah,
like
because
done.
you're like quick and easy. This is like efficiency, like actually do the job well.
Yeah, which I think all teachers want to do their jobs well. I think like teachers go into that perfect. Well, you're married to a teacher, so you know.
Yep.
So like they're passionate, at least in the beginning, they're very passionate about making a difference.
Still passionate, but
Um,
then also burnt out if that passion is still there.
totally. So, okay. This is cool. I like this new angle.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay.
There's
Thank
some
you.
other comments in there about in the chat. Maybe take a look there too, Robin.
Yeah, I'm peeking at the chat. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, awesome. We'll keep going with Mary. So awesome to see you again, Mary.
Hey, how are you?
Really good.
Good. So I thought maybe we could just go through headlines, if that's
Yeah,
okay.
do it.
I'll share really quickly, maybe. So I don't know that I'm unaware. I think that so what I make are single-use cocktail infusions that you would use for travel.
Mm-hmm.
I think that people are so used to having bad food and a bad drink on a when they travel in an airplane that they just accept it.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of telling them, here's a revolution, you don't have to accept it anymore, and it's easy, right? So, um, do you enjoy a cocktail when you're traveling? When you actually like to enjoy it, or you don't have to sacrifice your cocktail to travel,
Okay. Yeah. I'm curious to see, yeah, I'm curious because I know yours is an innovation too, right? It's an invention.
right?
So so it's yeah, it makes sense here where you're calling out the problem. That's actually very well done. But it's like I was saying earlier, that's not where we want to be, is because we don't want to teach them that they need it. We want to make it tap it into an existing desire they have. So I'm just curious to see the next ones. Okay, so you got problem aware, not enjoying your flight. Um,
Here's how you give yourself a treat.
this one, the one that you just wrote, this here, that's also unaware.
This one is also unaware.
Yeah, because you're like creating the problem.
Okay,
This problem aware, they know that they wish they had better cocktails on the plane.
right. I have one. It might not be in the, I don't know if I have it in the right place, but I have one. And if I'm pitching in person, a lot of times what I'll say is, are you sick of begging for limes on your flight to make your drink better? Or,
Yeah, that's more problem aware. They're already doing something to try and fix it.
right. Okay.
You know, or like fed up with ginger ale and Diet Coke as the only option for your on-flight cocktail.
Got it.
Okay. And then,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, and then solution aware. It's kind of like what are they? I, I don't like, are they solution aware?
I I don't think I look there's a brand that is hideous out that's killing it in the market. They're called Craft Mix. And it's
Okay.
essentially it's like an electrolyte. You open it up, it's powder and you pour it in. You have to add water, you have to mix it. It's disgusting. They don't taste good. Uh,
Okay. So yeah, for this one
but
you
they're
would
selling.
say like travel cocktail drinks that actually taste good. That would be if the market knew about those other products. I think it's a new innovation. I think there are competitors, but not many right now.
Okay. So
And
you
so
think they're focused on the unaware.
I think it's like it's kind of or it's kind of no, it's I would rather it's problem aware. The other thing is to remember you have a really fun product. So like I think it's okay to talk on the problem aware when it's like entertaining. You know, like it's pretty obvious how your product makes people's lives better. So it's not like a massive uphill battle to convince people.
Right? So can you give me an example of what you mean
Yeah,
about fun?
just before I do, Emily, I see you have to hop off. Yeah, send post in school, and I will eventually over the next few days circle back to anyone who's posting in school. Okay, go ahead, Mary.
That's okay, but does Emily want to go now and you can come back to me since she has to go?
No, she said no.
Okay.
Okay, but thanks for the offer.
Sure.
Okay. Um,
Back
sorry,
to fun.
say that again, Mary.
Back to fun.
Yeah. I saw a good line from Jessica here. Where was that?
That's right.
Flights are hard enough without suffering through mediocre in-flight cocktails. It's pretty good.
Okay, great.
Your own personal in-flight mixologist. Heck yeah, Sean. Those are good.
Great.
Sounds good, Natalie. Oh, I think she had to go. Okay, yep. Um, yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. So I'll work on these and flesh them out a little bit more.
Yeah, and then again, Jessica's yeah, you want to talk about the unique mechanism, not messy, doesn't have to be mixed. Yeah. Um, I think what you make sure you want to do, Mary, is those for everyone again. I'm sounding like a broken record, is those unique mechanism headlines. Because those ones really everything that you've come up with so far is good. Entertaining, fun is going to win their attention. But I think it's a good exercise to really define how you're different than what's already there. And I guess in your instance, like there's not a lot there.
There is literally nothing doing what I'm doing. There's adjacent to what I'm doing, but not
Okay.
what I'm doing.
Okay. So let's go down to the matrix. I just wanted to say matrix again. Okay. So you would be like level one, no competition and problem aware.
Okay.
So it gives you some you know, there's advice, problem solution. It gives you some advice on some headlines that you could use. So I would just kind of explore some of those. Maybe even this unaware one though, because you're right. Maybe it is unaware. I would look at some of those other ones. See how it says like story warning. Some of those could be cool to try too.
Okay. Okay. I'll work on it and post something in school. Want to make sure everybody gets that.
Yeah, sounds good. And for some of the, I saw some people leaving. That's okay too. Ksenia, we'll see you later. All right, but we will
Thank you,
keep.
everyone.
Yeah. Jessica, hi.
Hi.
Hey.
I just kind of, like everyone else, want to make sure I'm on the right page.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm working on ads at the same time.
Of course.
So I think I understand. And I actually wrote a long story ad this morning because Jenny forced me to. I was trying to just do a simple ad for a 2-pack that I'm doing, and she's forced me to write a novel. So
I was following your conversation with her in school. I
okay.
saw it.
I'm glad she made me. Like, I kind of needed that. So I think that it will go nicely with this. So our unique mechanism is that most of the jigs, slow pitch jigs specifically, like this is so nerdy. Most of the slow pitch jigs on the market are just casting jigs that people are fishing vertically. They're not really truly center weighted, asymmetrical with the right action as they fall that really mimic dying bait fish. I mean, maybe they flutter a little bit, but they're not really creating the action that makes a fish want to bite because they think it's prey, which is the whole point of slow pitch jigging, is you're mimicking prey. You don't have to carry live bait around. It's not messy. It's not smelly. You don't have to go home when you run out of it. You don't have to buy it every time you go out. You don't have to keep it alive the whole time. You've just got your slow pitch jigs, and you do have to work it the whole time. It's not set it and forget it. So like the unique mechanism is partially that these are some of the smallest, if not the smallest, true slow pitch jigs on the market. Most of our competitors are making them down to about 20 grams, and we've got 10 and 15 grams, which are our most popular. So I wrote all of this sort of with the brand in mind, because we go up to the big guys, obviously, but mostly about our most popular micro jigs, which are, so focusing on those. So it's hard to like kind of make that pithy.
Well, yeah, because it's like two things happening. It's like,
Yeah.
don't use those jigs, use slow pitch jigs. Don't use 20-gram slow pitch jigs, use 10, 15.
Right.
Yeah,
Right, right.
so I guess it is really important to understand the customer stage of awareness. Like, do they know, first of all, that slow pitch? Do they know that slow pitch is a good option?
Yeah, not always. I think a lot of our customers, they just want to fish something that's going to work. They may or may not know about jigging, about slow pitch jigging. And I mean, these are versatile. Like they'll work. They just won't work as well if you don't have the skill and technique. But you throw anything in there, if a fish is hungry, he will bite it. So I think our best customers though do already like jigs. They're not into live bait. Maybe they like jigs already. So
Okay.
already a little bit educated.
Yeah. Okay.
And my husband designed them because he couldn't find true slow pitch jigs. He was only finding this one other company was making these little casting jigs, and they had like one slow pitch jig that was always sold out. And then he was talking about it on his show, and all of his buddies were constantly buying them. And he's like, why am I sending this other company so much business? I'm just going to start selling them myself. And then he's selfishly like designing them exactly so that he can go out and catch more fish.
There you go. That's good.
I was like, when was the last time you skunked? He's like, it's been a minute. But I said, are you ever out skunking? And you're like, I'm going to use a submission jig. He's like, no, that's all I fished.
So just as another preview of the next session where we're going to be talking about category of one headlines, it's these little anecdotes. It's these little stories and like the nuances you discovered talking with customers, and like there's things that a lot of competitors could say about, like, hey, your standard jig, their fish thinks it's predator. That's something that a lot of them would, or that it's prey. Would they say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So exactly. So to really make it a category of one, it's like, yeah, we've heard about the predator, the prey thing, but what we found is like the weight and so I think there's a lot of opportunity for you to do the category of one based on the, like, listening to the market, the nuances, the way you've invented it, the way you've like innovated it. Okay. So I think it's really what you're explaining to me is your unique mechanism. I think this would simplify things if we just like define the unique mechanism. And if you saw how I did it in this worksheet for field trip, it was a long thing, like Arctic grade hydration for 24-hour with less
Yeah,
application, you know?
but
So
that was on this one, right?
no, no, it was back on the current one.
Oh, this
It's
one.
there too, actually. It's there too.
Oh, was it up at the top?
Yeah, I put a new one in there for the purpose of today.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
it, so exactly. So you would say like a 5 grand slow or 15 milligram slow pitch jig that prevents this weight and looking like it's prey. Just try and describe it for as long as you can. It doesn't even, I don't care about, we're not using this in the marketing. I just want you to define, everybody should be doing that. Make a long sentence or two about
Okay.
how your process is different than anyone else. And so I think that that's my advice to you is to take a step back here, really define that unique mechanism.
Okay.
And once we have that defined, we're going to do those unique mechanism headlines and just plug it in, plug in the right parts. And
Okay.
so okay, so here's the other thing is you're going right for the category of one right now. Like the questions you're asking me is like, here's the backstory, here's how we differentiated, what's the best. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Today we just need the level 2 of creativity.
Okay. I
Okay?
just want to make sure that like continuing to focus on this is the
Yeah.
right direction to go in.
Your unique mechanism is it. Everything that you just told me, those anecdotes, it's all about how you're listening to the market and you weren't happy with the options and you pivot. Like that is the category of one stuff. All those ingredients you just told me, bang on. I just want to get before we get to the category of one like winning headline, it's let's use the formulas a little bit. So we're really comfortable talking about our unique mechanism in different ways.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. I think the colors are special too, but okay, that's really good. Thank you.
Yeah.
You were saying so long.
Oh, of course. I don't even know how long it's been. I planned to be here for a while today, so we are good.
Marathon.
But we are getting close to the end. So we'll go through Mary, Anita, and Robin, and that'll be the end of today. But let's go over to oh, Mary already went. So we're just Anita and Robin. Anita.
Hey, Scott.
Hey.
So I feel like I'm so behind because I'm still stuck on Monday's call. So this is my question. I just want to ask you this. I know you kept drilling into my head that I'm the unique mechanism. I really am stuck on that. I don't know how to say, like, I'm the mechanism. I know it's how I curate my fashion, but I don't travel the world. Like, I can't come up with like how to say that. Like I don't travel around the world to find it. I have 40 years experience with different vendors who
So it's nothing to you now. Your expertise is nothing. It just is what it is, right? So let's dive into it, okay? So
Okay.
so you're the buyer for your store, obviously,
I'm the everything.
with everything. So when you're doing the buy-in and you're picking and choosing your products, is there like a X bucket, like Anita would never choose this, and a yes bucket?
Yes, there is.
What is tell me about the X bucket? When you see something, you're like, nope.
Well, it's either too young, too short, too cropped, too shows too many body parts for my age group of my customer. So I wouldn't go near like the unaffordable, like it's like a cheap version of, I don't know, it's like, for the 20-year-olds.
Okay, so it's not showing body parts for the age group. That's one unique mechanism.
Right. And then the other bucket would be, oh, that's for my age group. It's affordable, it's quality, it's durable, it covers all the parts that need to be covered when you're 40 plus.
Beyond the covering, what else is in the X bucket?
I always go back to like my 40 years of experience, like with fashion.
Understanding fashion, understanding cuts, understanding like
Mhm.
all of the things.
Fabrics,
Yeah.
fabrics,
I've been in fashion since I was 13. I worked at my aunt's shop and it taught me so much about what materials are, that's why I knew polyester is plastic, nylon was plastic. Why most people don't. So you're educated in that.
Yeah, and exactly. So we're gonna have a really fun time on the origin story part. That's when we'll really capture your magic and like position
Uh-huh.
you as that like fabric nerd.
Yeah.
and
So,
like the cutting nerd and yeah, but and so we'll have so much fun doing that because the 40 years experience goes a long way. And we're like, we
yeah.
learned, and we used to think this, but now we realize this. We used to do it that way, and we learned that that's not, so there's a lot we'll cover in the origin story part of this long format. But for the
Yeah.
headline itself, it's really just trying to like the unique mechanism is the things you say no to and the things you say yes to
Mhm.
for your age group.
Jenny made me do an ad, actually. Somebody else said it too. She like was beating me over the head way before I took your boot camp. So can I show you that where I'm headed and see if I'm in the right?
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay, not yet, because I want to give you a different idea first, and
Okay.
I don't want to be biased based on what I'm about to read.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Fair.
so
Fair
I
enough.
yeah, I think it's something like, there's a really awesome member in Merchant Mastery Accelerator in our graduate. We've worked with Stacy for a long time, and she has a brick and mortar store called Olive and Betty's, and she's got
Hmm.
this like really
I
winning,
follow them. I
yeah,
follow them.
she's got this winning ad that's, what do we do better than anybody else? Here today, gone tomorrow, fresh styles daily. Okay,
Hmm.
that's her unique mechanism. Why are we the best at picking out clothes for 40 plus women?
Hmm.
Took us 30 years to understand that crop tops don't look good at this age. So it's really like, why are we the best at picking out clothes for this age of women? Okay. And so that's identifying the problem. The women in that age group will be like, "Oh, I got to learn more. Tell me."
Hmm.
And then it's the unique mess. We'll never put a crop top, a skin showing, a this, a that in our store because we know it isn't flattering, for example.
That's actually where I was headed. Like, did the fashion designers forget about the 40 plus women? And because all I see when I scroll is bellies, butts, and
Okay,
it's not for
you
them.
just wrote a category of one headline. Did
I did.
designers leave out 40 plus women? Because all I see when I'm scrolling is butts and boobs and blah 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 blah.
Right.
Okay, so show me what you were working on now. But I think we just wrote one with
Write
what
it
you
down,
said.
write it down, write it down.
Actually, it's in this headline. It's in
You
this.
know? Okay, because that's it. That's the true category one is the way Anita would say it, because she knows.
So Jenny helped me, so I didn't do all this by myself, but
Okay.
Tim, you see it?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Love this. Um, okay. No, 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 no.
What? What? What?
Okay, did designers forget the 40 plus women? Perfect. You gotta go, Jen. See ya. Um, okay. It's all I see when I scroll.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Write
I
this down
don't
right
the
here.
only thing I'm changing is the second line. I don't want to do the say no to crop tops. I want the Anita experience. All we see when we scroll is this, this, and this. Short skirts, crop tops, you know?
Okay. Uh-huh. I got it.
Because that's tapping into what your customer is experiencing.
Right.
If we say no to crop tops, this and that, they're gonna be like, okay, no, I say no to them.
Okay.
If I say all I see when I scroll is this, they're gonna be like, dang it, Anita, me too.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. And then the rest is just talking about what I just said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't worry about the rest for now.
Is this, I just wanted to ask you about this one. Is this get your best fit? This is like what they're looking for, their desire. Does that sound like a desire? Like that's what their desire is? Is that a good way to say it?
Yeah, this is a headline right there. That's a headline.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like it's a version of a headline. It is.
Okay.
So let me explain why. It's talking about the aspiration, like the desire, comfortable
Uh-huh.
trends that aren't too
Yeah.
big, tight, which is the problem with the other options, but just right, paired with strategic design details and inspired by your experience. So it's bringing in your unique mechanism. We believe in strategic design details that we've learned over 14 years. That's your unique mechanism right there. Right there.
Okay. Got it. So that's like that whole thing's like a hook. Or do
Yeah,
I have to cut it down?
You know, I was kind of saying this to Robin when it was her turn here, is we're going to be writing so many other things for this long form story ad that we might get new ideas like, oh, that could be a headline. That is very likely going to happen with everyone.
Mhm.
But I just wanted to point out that you've done it. You've done the homework with that bold one because it's positioning you pick pieces based on 14 years of experience that solve timeless and comfort.
Okay. But this was not easy. Talking about squeezing a
But
lemon.
it was when you didn't feel like you needed to write and you were just telling us like I'm scrolling, like I want that Anita angst.
Mhm.
Just naturally tell us the angst. That's why I think Katie did such a good job with the exercise because she's like, oh, I know what they're just going through. And she didn't overthink it. She's like, I just wrote this out. And it was like bang on.
Mhm. I was overthinking it for
And I
sure.
think that there's a lot of like no crop tops and whatever, but in actuality, if there are crop tops that do look good on women of certain age and whatever, if the designer knows what they're doing. And so you know what you're doing by curating for 40 years and growing with that market. And, so that's why, because you're it.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah, so
it's actually so much easier to write these and come up with these when we don't feel like we need to. And we're just,
yeah,
you're just telling us your experience.
like how you actually feel when you're scrolling and you're like 40 plus or 50, you're actually thinking it. Like, are they
We were
kidding?
feeling it. We were feeling it. We were feeling it when you were saying that.
Yeah. Like, are you kidding? Like, I can't wear that. Why do they keep showing me that?
Also, I see that you've written, all I see when I scroll is crop tops and short skirts. And what you were actually saying was, all I see are boobs, bellies, da da
I
da.
didn't,
So I
I
think
didn't
Yeah,
want to say
that
it again.
hits a
Yeah.
little bit, a little bit closer to home than blah 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 crop tops. Like there's an entire like what you're
right.
saying is you're seeing. You're not seeing short skirts, whatever, because a woman that's in
This,
her 50s can wear a short skirt if it's cut properly.
right.
So the thing is what you're seeing is boobs, butts, bellies, and that's what I think people understand. Then you're like, oh yeah,
100%.
those clothes don't fit properly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Thank
Exactly,
you.
Katie. I was thinking the same thing. I wanted to correct it too, but I just
It
didn't
just
want
feels too generic, and that feels definitely like you could go on to like Chat GPT and say, write me a basic blah blah blah.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to do in the next session is make sure it's not generic. Make sure it's not something somebody else could say. So that's why I was like, oh, when I saw your other options, say no to crop tops. I'm like, anybody could say that. Scrolling and
Yeah.
seeing butts and boobs. I'm like, I've never seen that one before.
I
Yeah, and
actually,
also it's you, right? Versus you and
yeah,
everyone else.
I actually don't like ChatGPT. It sounds like every other fashion boutique out there.
Then
Exactly.
don't then don't do it to yourself. Don't edit yourself that same way.
We
I
want
definitely not using.
the Anita New Yorker fire. Let's get the New Yorker out. We want the New Yorker.
That's who they're coming to see, right?
Yeah. Okay. That gets me going here.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
You betcha. All right. And well, yeah, I had us plan to do Robin, but I see is it Makey? Well,
Mayaka.
Mayaka. We'll see if we can get through both fairly quickly. Robin first.
Hi, Scott.
Hi.
Thanks for squeezing me in.
Oh,
I'm
of
kind of like
course.
Anita in that I didn't work on today's headlines while we were working here because my son, aka digital manager, was, excuse me, on the call earlier, and we're going to work on it in the morning. And I feel like there's just things that I need to clarify in my head, if you don't mind me sharing
Yeah. Yeah.
my screen. So, whoops, where is it? Here it is. So this was a really great exercise. Can you see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm realizing that maybe, so we have products that protect skis and snowboards no matter how you travel. That's our log line, whether you're traveling in a plane, with a bag, or you're a roof rack or a car box or the back of your pickup truck or inside your vehicle. So our products are patent pending and there's nothing like them on the market, which is one of those good, bad things, right? People
Yeah.
are like, these are really cool, but then they are like, I don't know, do I need them?
Yeah.
So we definitely are in levels 1 and 2. I had for the mass instinct, love of the outdoors, love for snow sports, desire to introduce children to activities they love and make travel easier. But then I wondered if really at the end of the day, because we've been focusing on the travel aspect and protecting your gear and everything around them, whether it's your upholstery or clothes. Somebody told me their dog, they loved that their dog wasn't going to get injured with their skis in their vehicle. Maybe it's really that it's simple and easy to use these products as opposed to when people wrap their gear, their tips and tails and their bindings
Yeah.
covers, it takes forever. I mean, I guess I realized I'm not sure what my desire table it should be, or should I do
Yeah.
more than one?
That's a good question. So well, like right in the beginning, we're brainstorming many desires and then we narrow it to one. And so I'm guessing
Okay,
you narrowed yours down to like the protective part.
that's what we've been focusing on.
That's a really important that's a very interesting thing to consider, right? Is it the protection or is it just how easy it is compared to the other options? And so I guess my first question, because I know that when people travel, that is something that people would worry about. If you're traveling with like an instrument, you don't want that to break or like something like that. Is that and anything like yeah. So is that a common problem that people are worried they're going to wreck their skis and snowboard?
I think that's why I put it as I think awareness is even low. I think most people just accept that traveling is a hassle and their gear might get damaged. We're trying to emphasize that airlines actually will not cover your damaged skis and snowboards unless they're in a hard case bag. If you have a
Okay.
soft-sided bag and they
Yeah.
break, you're out of luck.
So this is like that's people that's we don't want to market about that. Do you know why?
Why?
Because they're unaware. And so the learning curve is steep.
Yeah.
And when the learning curve is steep, there's no urgency. There is no urgency.
Yeah. I mean, that's what
So
we're seeing. The people that have the products love them. I'm proud to say we've not had one return from our website. Not a single one.
amazing. Yeah. I love
Kind of unbelievable. We've had some returns from Amazon, which we just have our one bindings cover product on there. But
the product makes a lot of sense to me. It does. I get it. I just want to help you focus on what is going to make the most immediate sense, like the most
that would
prominent
be
desire.
helpful.
The ski gear accessory you didn't know you needed because you invented
Like
it.
that.
Yeah, and I like the idea of factoring in all three things. Where the like is the word hard or like the protective, like what would you say, like the where like the most protective, fastest something skiing
They are really easy to use. Are you a skier at all, Scott? Anybody out there?
snowboard.
Snowboard. So, I actually was at a friend's mountain house last year and their nephew, a lot of people tends to be a little bit older demographic that really worries about their stuff, but their nephew, who is in his 20s, bubble wrapped his snowboard before he put it in a padded bag. So there are people of all ages that really care, but not everybody is there. And
Yeah.
it's just a hassle to wrap your stuff with bubble wrap or clothes, and clothes can get sliced on the sharp edges. The sharp edges can slice other things. I mean, it is really multi-useful. So it's a little bit tricky.
I
We're
think
trying to get
sorry, I think you need to do exactly that. The ski gear equipment you didn't know you needed, and then the bullet list of does this, does this, does this. It's really like and also write somewhere zero returns. Zero
Yeah,
returns.
here's the fun thing about zero returns would be a good one to stand by. We've never had a product return. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I've never mentioned that. I've just been like, that's so amazing to me. Of course, I'll jinx myself.
Yeah, but like I don't know if it or let's see, is Kimby and Tracy on the call right now? I don't think they're here right now, but they have an ad going that went wild, and they sold out all their product. They actually have an amazing body butter and all these other products, Hello Mellow. And in the ad, it said we have like a 80% returning customer rate. which is true for most businesses when they're not advertising yet. So the return customer rate has gone down a lot since we've been like scaling up the ads, but just like taking their own metric, that is a category of one metric. No returns. Nobody else could say that but you because it's true to you.
Yeah.
So I
Yep.
like that. I also
Okay.
think um like you would really benefit from going through the unique mechanism.
That was my other question because I'm struggling with that a little bit.
This is the key. Or one more point. It's kind of nice being at the problem aware stage because people haven't heard of it, right? So it could be like introducing the fastest, safest way to get your snowboard from A to Z. And there's
I
not a lot of
like that.
people, you know, there's not a lot of people saying it. So you can just say what you do.
I
It's
like that.
it's when there's like 1,000 people doing it that you have to be like, finally, one that actually works. But you don't even need to say that right now because you're just like what is it? What does it do? The fastest, quickest, safest, most protective way to get your snowboard safely from A to B. I know that was a lot of words, but just many to consider that you could use. But you get to just kind of call it the problem and be like, we got a solution.
Okay. Thank you. And if you don't mind, I'm going to throw this out to everybody. We call them slippers because our name is Pondos. People are like, what's such a weird name? But we're of Greek heritage, and the Greek word for slippers is pandoflas. And so we kind of played that into our website a little bit, but maybe at the end of the day, that was just stupid. But regardless, I'm not changing the name of the company because
Yeah.
I've got too much money in logos. But Curian said, would people think it's weird that they're called slippers? And I'm like, I don't know. They slip on
Did they slip on?
they do.
Then we're
They
good.
just slip on the tips and tails. They're slippers.
Yeah, no, we're good. I think it would be
Okay.
confusing if they didn't slip on.
They do slip on. And then there's a detachable carry strap, but that's another feature that not everybody wants, but some people love that. So
I actually like the word slipper because it's kind of a unique mechanism. It implies it's easy to slip on. It implies like easy, quick.
great. Okay. Thank you so much for your help. I'm so excited to dive into the rest of this. This has been a great exercise, and I have so much work to do from the beginning of Merchant Mastery, and I'm cracking the whip on my son. We got to get this done.
Yeah, just I like I was saying a couple times today, getting this right. Like there's a lot of busy work. There's a lot of busy work in Merchant Mastery. I'm gonna do the website. I got to do this collection layout. Like we got to get everything done, and it's busy work. But this is really the driver of whether everything's gonna perform right away or at some point. But
Well, I appreciate that because I'm depressed to say that, disappointed to say that we changed to Shopify and I don't know what we're doing wrong, but and I don't think our site is bad, but our sales are so much lower this January than last year, and it's our season. So that's
the
kind of
good news is you're in the right place.
okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I just one last comment for you, Robin, is like, yeah, spend some time on that unique mechanism. Like who was sharing? I think that was Katie. Katie's a writing machine here today, which is amazing. It's just like you want to come up with a really long line. We're the fastest, quickest, safest way to get your snowboard from A to Z in a way that will protect your car and keep your hands. Like spell it all out.
Okay, that's okay. That's great. All right, I'll throw it all out. I'll throw everything in the kitchen sink too.
Yeah, and get it in as long as it's different to you, which it is.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I'll wrap up with my Aki.
Hey Scott, it's Mayaka. I know it's really hard and it doesn't look like it sounds.
Mayaka.
So yeah,
Oh,
I'm
I love
good. Thank you. Okay, so sorry, I didn't do the worksheet on the computer. I was just sitting here writing notes so that I could like pay attention. But so we make handmade soap and body butter and all of things in this super oversaturated market, right?
Mhm.
And as we've been working this past year rebuilding our site on Shopify, where Jenny and I were focusing was on, sensitive skin and how we have non-toxic products, da da da. But I feel like that's not really what makes us special. And I'm having a hard time. I'm actually not having a hard time with our new products, which are basically rage crafted after the election results. Those are like a whole rebellious women candle line, but that's not sustainable big picture. And what I want your help with is like, how do we talk about the fact that, yes, we make amazing soap? Like, who knows about us? They don't shop anywhere else. But what makes it special is that it's also beautiful because I am an artist and the color that I use in my paintings is incorporated into our soap designs. Here, I'll show you. I'm going to actually go to our website. Give me one sec.
Yeah,
Da-da-da.
I also like believe I like I like marketing any kind of product, but I was just telling Robin, I was like, hey, I like it when it's problemware, but I also like it when it's saturated because we go bold and we go big on when it's saturated. And
Yeah, and I think we've got like a really awesome origin story, but I want to make it more about the product because that's more about the person, the buyer. And so I need some guidance about how we get there, you know? Um,
oh, this is cool. Yeah, yeah. I think y-
and my fragrances are bananas good. Like people walk into my shop, the very first thing they say, "Oh my God, it smells amazing in here." Which
yeah,
is what we've got like on our candle page.
I,
It
I
smells incredible here, you know.
I
But
think
I
it's like
want oh sorry.
everything Jenny has told you to do is also needed. Like we need to
Yes.
know the actual benefit to their skin, the health, the reasons they want soap. We want to
Right.
know how your benefit is different, but the
Right.
unique mechanism is clearly like the fun component.
Right. And so what I had kind of written down was tired of dry irritated skin um solutions that are brown boring blobs. Basically, we spent 10 years perfecting our sensitive skin formulas that deliver joy and artistry. But we
Yeah.
also like using the word glimmers, which is like the opposite of a trigger. So I'm just trying to figure out what's the right way to come at this.
So okay, so my favorite part of coming like when I'm writing headlines, I always just go to category 3 of creativity. I always just go there. And so I'm always
Right.
tempted to just start but we're going to cover that in the next session. So like but those ones like you could say things like an example of like how my thought process would go on like the category 3 creativity is like it's like challenging them. Like have you ever seen like have you or like are we insane to turn soap into art?
Ooh.
Okay, so that's going to be the conversation in the next session where it's just like adding some drama, adding some like deep differentiation into what you've done to position you as unlike anybody else. So using words like are we insane? Are we crazy? Are we nuts? Is like what's nuts about them? What did they do differently?
Yeah, yeah.
So but that's for the next session I would say things like that. Are we nuts to have wanted to create soap art? You know, but
Mm-hmm.
but for the purpose of today, it is really more about we're not there yet. We want to define the unique mechanism. So the only homework you really have right now, you weren't far off with what Jenny was guiding you on, but you would want to say all natural ingredients with this benefit infused by art for 30 years of perfection. It's really just defining how your process is different than other soaps. That's all you really need to do at this stage. And then I would actually go through the worksheet, go through those formulas. And there's no way you could have done it. I just gave it to everybody today. So between like now and next week, I would just encourage you to not come up with the winning headline yet. Just define your unique mechanism and use those formulas to get the ideas rolling. And next week, we're going to come up with that real breakthrough winner.
Okay. Um, okay. That's cool.
I think my assignment there was to not put too much pressure on you to have the perfect answer just yet. At this stage of crafting these headlines, we want to be really clear on the desire, the unique mechanism, getting comfortable putting these things together in sentences using the formulas. And so
Yeah.
don't put too much pressure on us to like have the perfect one yet. We just want to like know how to integrate these ingredients together with the formulas.
Okay.
They look gorgeous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to show you too, like I popped open my, because I mean, like I said, I'm going to switch where I'm screen sharing. I've really been focused on the new candles just because that is where my head's at because of current events. But I feel like for longevity's sake, we need, I cannot find this thing, sorry. We need to be able to talk about our regular soap and candles too. But what we've got going with this other stuff, here, I'm just going to show you the most popular one.
Yeah.
Like,
That's an ad in and of itself, right? You just got to make sure
right.
you're like blurring out one of those letters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dear
Yeah.
Lord, help us all.
Yeah, tell me about it. But so for longevity's sake though, I feel like we need to be able to talk about the soap, but or are we just looking for ads that are going to get them to the site and then hoping that they're going to look at other things?
Yeah, it's like how new are you in the program?
Well, so I think this is my 6th month.
Oh, okay.
But I'm really, because it became a holiday, I am struggling on the ad part because it just was crazy for the last 2 months. And also we dropped these new candles after the elections came in, and this is all it's been about. But long term, this isn't the foundation of what we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I would, my advice to you, and this is why I was just like, I would go back to the way we explain it in level 1 of merchant mastery is like whenever we're investing in ads,
Mm-hmm.
what do we want? Sales.
Right.
So we're gonna start with our tried, tested, and true products that we have the best track record with. And so we're gonna look at products we've sold a lot of so that we understand what type of customers were buying them, what their feedback was, what kind of reviews.
Totally.
So the
And
best
we've
place.
got that solidly, like all of our demographics are in place for this, but I'm just having a rough time for whatever reason. Like writing headlines for other people's stuff, no problem. My
Yeah.
own stuff, I'm like, why can't I do this?
I'm just gonna throw this out because I'm reading what you're putting down here, and I think it's like soaps for the revolutionary or soaps
Right.
for the
Right,
revolution.
but the soaps aren't. Like that's the thing. Like people who know me in my community, yes, we're a community activist hub here. That's a known deal. But like for a random person that's finding us on Facebook or whatever, maybe that's not their deal, but we make amazing soap. So that's why
Yeah.
like what I've
I
got
know
going here.
I could tell you right now, I could tell you the problem because I see this problem all the freaking time. Okay. Right now, you're trying to go for and I'm not even like a big sports nut or anything, but I'm going to use a sports analogy. You're going for like the Hail Mary. You're going for that. You're trying to look for that like magic bullet right now.
Okay.
And that's not what we're trying to do yet.
Okay.
We're gonna go for the magic bullet in the next session, the category 3 category, or sorry, level 3 of creativity, category of 1 headline. We're gonna figure that out next time. Right now,
Okay.
you said it yourself. I'm struggling to come up with ideas. Finish the 17 hooks that I've assigned in that work.
Yes. I will do my absolute best. I'm also a painter, so I'm painting for the museum here, and I have a mural that I'm working on, and I'm like trying
Yeah.
to scramble and catch up and juggle all of the 90 things of being a mom and a business owner and da 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 da.
I respect and appreciate all that. So,
Yeah.
but it doesn't change the fact that I'm
Just
rooting
do
for.
the process.
I want your store to win. And so
Yes, me
if I'm
too.
in charge, if I'm in charge of making your store win, you're gonna do those 17 hooks.
Yes, I will do that.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't mean to say it so
No, no,
patriotic.
no. No, you're great. Like I hear you. What you're saying is trust the process, do the steps, and we're gonna get there
You're
in
gonna get
time.
better at creating hooks for yourself when you practice those 17.
Yeah. Can you tell me just like your thoughts on this? This was a post that we had.
Oh, no. I'm honestly, I'm doing this as a favor for you. You're getting
Mm-hmm.
too in the weeds with we don't want to give feedback on a bunch of different things and new ideas.
Uh-huh.
This is why, and I'm not even kidding you. I haven't showed any examples other than my little field trip text. Did anyone notice that for the last 2 days? I didn't show any examples, and I love showing examples. The reason I showed no examples is because they're all distractions.
Okay.
Okay, so if
So
you
just
show me
stay
some of
on
it,
track with the
you
process.
got to stay on track with the process. Before I'll give feedback at the end when you do
Okay.
all the steps, and like if you're showing me hooks at this stage, I'll give you feedback on that. But to show me like an image and design, like it's really subjective for me. I'm gonna look at it and be like, yeah, it looks pretty, looks good. But what I want is that hard hitting headline. And that's what we need to work on right now.
Can you give me ideas what you think is like a hard hitting headline for soap, handmade soap? Like I just feel like there's really literally like 100,000 soap companies all saying the same thing.
It's your unique mechanism. So it's the art. It is the art. It's the colors, it's the art, it's the ingredients, it's the combination of those. It's your years of experience. I could tell you right now, and I know this to be true. Go through the exercise of the 17, lights will come on.
Okay.
When you're saying the 17, is that how many?
It's that stack that's behind the worksheet.
Yeah.
There's 2 tables. There's like the stage of awareness, 5 there.
Okay.
Market
Within that
sophistication, 5 there. That's 10. And then there's 4 for unique mechanism and 3 from the matrix.
17.
Okay.
Copy.
So, and I
Thank
just know it's, I'm not being harsh. I'm being certain that this is the thing that we need to do is the hard work, because right now it's like, I don't know the answer. Give me a hook. You just got to go through that brainstorming. I'm trying to build that skill for you. I'm trying to build that
Yeah.
skill for everybody so that you can actually make this work.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you like sticking with your process. I just, like I said, for whatever reason, when it comes to my own thing, I'm having a hard time. Like she's talking
Yeah.
about her ski covers, and I'm like, yes, they're ski slippers. That's amazing. You
Yeah.
know, but I'm like, I'm so used to the soap. It's like, I can't make
Here's
my
what
brain.
Yeah, I could tell you're an artist actually too, which is a good thing, right? But it's just like we're getting ahead of ourselves. You're like, hey, here's a final product. What do you think? I'm like, no, 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 no. We gotta like you gotta actually the thing that you're caught on right now. So if I give you feedback on an ad you made and a product you made and a label you made, and I'm like, hey, looks good, that doesn't help you create better headlines. And so what I want to pinpoint is where you're stuck in the process. And I think where you're stuck is defining your unique mechanism. And you're
Yes.
you're feeling like it's impossible, but it's not. We all just saw your soap. It looks really different than anything
Yeah.
I've seen. Okay, so you know the drill in front of you is like just go back through the 2 trainings that we did in this long form story ad boot camp. Do the 2 worksheets. You will have a lot more clarity by the end of that, and I promise.
For the headlines, do you think so I have a long origin story, but La 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 came out of domestic violence, used to be a financial advisor. We now employ other women coming out of domestic violence. Should that play into the headline, or should we just focus
Yeah.
on?
I think you should go back and watch session 1 for anybody who I know there's only a few of us here, but if you haven't watched session 1 of the long form story ad bootcamp,
I was here.
okay. So there's going to be a section in the long form story ad that has your origin story. So we don't need
Right.
to worry about that just yet. And when it comes to the headline, we just want to pull out tidbits that differentiate you,
Like
right? So
clean
like,
yourself with art or something.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, like
30 years of artistry in every soap bar.
I like that one.
yeah, like Van Gogh in the bathroom or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I'm so annoying because people are always looking for that magic bullet. You're not the first to be like, this is so hard. I know it is, but this is what I'm trying to do is build that skill. Just go through the 2 worksheets. Once you've done those, it's the key to getting this working. And I look forward to seeing how that goes.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Great having y'all here for 2 hours and 38 minutes. Good luck with your exercises. We'll see you next Thursday for the next session.
Thank you.
All right. See you, everyone.